throughout his career. Las Vegas Raiders are set to interview Vikings offensive assistant coordinator Jordan Traylor for quarterbacks coach. Jordan is the son of UTSA head football coach Jeff Traylor. And Kyrie Irving going to miss the rest of the year.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagle.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
On a hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day.
Yeah. Hope you're having a great hump day, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Man, it's great to be a Wednesday. We're getting over the hump. It's a getaway day, all of those things. I'm Joe Reinagle. He is Jason Minix, and what an exciting day.
Getaway day.
Getaway day.
Vegas, baby. Heading out to MGM Grand for Radio Row for the Saturday fight between El Aztec and Mario Barrios and that Ryan Garcia guy.
Yeah, that guy.
That there.
Yeah, whatever.
Absolutely. All about the 2-0 this weekend. Haven't seen the complete schedule of events that we're going to be a part of over the next 2 days in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand, getting ready for the fight on DAZN coming from T-Mobile Arena. But I fully anticipate, I'm going to guess Thursday we'll have Mario on the show. But
I would think so.
But I don't know yet.
Yeah.
But having done these things, Thursday I think would be the day that they would be doing that. Although Friday, I guess they could do the weigh-in and the press conference.
Yeah, they got the weigh-in on Friday. So, yeah. I mean, those guys, by the time he leaves us on Thursday, he's going to have to be whatever it is whatever they have to do to cut weight, to make weight, and all of that kind of stuff. But
stuff that you don't want to do.
No, I don't want to do that. But I'm not a finely tuned athlete like Mario Barrios. So.
Well, I am, and I don't want to cut weight that way.
Don't lie to the people, man.
What do you mean?
Awful, awful.
Well, I mean, define finely tuned.
It ain't you. When you say finely tuned, there's a picture of you in the dictionary that says that ain't it.
Well, I mean, again, there are people that like nice cars. They could be a variety of different cars.
Wait,
Come on, man.
What are you, a Volkswagen Bug?
No, well, I had one back in the day, but no, I mean, all right, yeah, I'm not finely tuned nor athletic at this point.
It's going to be fun to go out there and see Mario for sure. I mean, you've talked to him a bunch. I have as well, and he needs a win. I really expect him to go out there and not that he doesn't put on a good performance every time, but, I mean, he needs to get a dub.
Well, he's had draws since winning the title, he's had a couple of draws. You're right. He needs a win. But you look at Ryan Garcia and what he's able to do and, kind of his path. So, and I think that's why this is such an intriguing fight. And I would imagine that bars all over San Antonio, like a lot of them are when Mario is fighting, or quite frankly, any fight night. But, the Rue is going to be packed. They've been promoting it. But all the places, because it is that big of a fight, bigger here in the 2-1-0 because local kid is doing well.
Absolutely, and I hope he does well. Big fight out in Vegas, arguably the fight capital of the world, and they do it right out there. A lot to talk about. We'll get into later with DAZN trying to maybe branch out a little bit from boxing into, well, the NBA and the NHL.
Again, I have no idea who all is going to be available to us tomorrow. But if you're with DAZN, aren't you taking advantage of this opportunity to try to get a whole lot of people familiar with your product, even though they've been around a while and, they're known for carrying fights. But if they want to branch out and do more, and so many do, this would be a great opportunity. It'll be interesting. I know there is a party tonight.
Is there really?
That DAZN is putting on.
That's nice of them.
I would like to think there'd be a lot of people from DAZN there trying to,
Sure. Why not?
tell their story.
Uh-huh. Well, we'll see. I think we're going to make that, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
We'll make that.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. Did you RSVP?
I did. I sure did.
Yeah.
Yes, I RSVP'd.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. I sure did.
It's at a very cool spot. Undisclosed location, but I've been there. Very cool spot.
What I love about DAZN and what I love about how this thing came about, this came about in like the last 4 days.
Yeah.
And they reached out to us and wanted us to come to Vegas and be a part of their Radio Row and obviously knowing how important San Antonio is to Mario. And to this fight, because there's a lot of fight fans here in San Antonio.
And, both shows, the Morning Huddle Boys, I don't know if they're there yet or not. Well, I don't know what time their flights were.
I think they left shortly after their show this morning.
Yeah, well, as I see, Rob left half his stuff, so you've got to take Rob his apple and that butter stuff.
No, he's going to have to do without that. There's plenty of good food in Vegas he can munch on. And I don't know does he like just looking at that every day? There's an apple and a jar of whatever the hell that is. I'm touching it, all right?
Now
There's an apple.
You can't fondle the man's apple.
I'm fondling the apple and the honey. If you're watching on our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page, this is what Rob has as his mid-morning snack. It is actually almond butter, honey.
Ugh.
Honey almond butter, creamy. I'm sure it's moist.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Don't say moist. So you figure, because it's been there all week. So he has good intentions of having the snack. He leaves it right in front of him, so it stares at him all day. So maybe he'll cave and say, all right, let me eat the apple. Or, well, I tried. It's there. I brought it. I looked at it.
He'll feel healthier looking at healthy food. Maybe that's how it works. I don't know, but again, that's Rob's deal.
Yep.
Rob he's a different cat. Let's just say that. I love Rob. Great guy. Love Rob. He's a different dude sometimes. But I guess we all are when it comes to that.
Yep.
We all can be accused of that. That's for sure. We got a lot to talk about, Minix, today. This whole George Pickens thing will not go away, and it never ceases to amaze me. I will tell you, it's just funny that the national media, any chance, any opportunity, no matter what it is, get an opportunity to talk about the Dallas Cowboys, they will do that, and they are doing it.
Well, it's the Cowboys, and it's George Pickens. It's another year with a top-tier player in a contract situation, a standoff with Jerry Jones. And it's the Cowboys. And what are they going to do? But I heard something this morning, and we'll get into it here in a little while, because this to me doesn't seem overly complicated. You tag them, and you work out the long-term deal. It's the Cowboys. They'll wait till July to get it done, but they know they're going to get it done and exactly what it's going to cost them if you don't want any drama. If Jerry wants drama, then you drag it out and you get ugly, right? But it to me doesn't seem like that complicated of a deal. But then I heard Mike Tannenbaum on TV today, and he's talking about how complicated and hard this is actually going to be. So now I'm like, well, crap, maybe this isn't going to be as easy, because he brought up some points, and he's been a general manager, and it's not just the one guy, it's all the other, and all that other stuff. But of all the different things that I've heard different experts say about should they or should they not, Mike Tannenbaum brought up the most real aspect that hasn't yet, I haven't heard it talked about enough. And now I might even have a little doubt if this thing actually gets done.
I can't believe that. You, the most glass half full guy when it comes to the Cowboys.
Well, I mean, it's half full is still half empty.
Well, it sure is, but it's the way you say it. It's half full. It sounds a hell of a lot better
than half empty.
Yes. Look, I think a lot of this is going to come down to the mindset of one George Pickens and Jerry Jones to some extent as well. I mean, let's face it. This guy, I think George Pickens believes he is a number one guy, and might want to get paid like a number one guy and not want to be second fiddle to a CD Lamb.
And by that, it's the numbers that Tannenbaum threw out. Hell, let's just play the audio pledge. Maybe throw him for a curve.
Ideally, you would like to do that, but this is a much harder deal to get done than what we saw with Micah Parsons a year ago, where you just say, hey, Micah Parsons, you're the best pass rusher in the league, and you go to the top of it. This situation is much more complex because I'm sure Dallas is going to say, hey, look at Cincinnati. T. Higgins, $28.7 million. We're going to make you the highest paid number 2 receiver. And he's going to say, hey, guess what? 93 catches, 1,400 yards, 9 touchdowns. I want to be paid $40 million a year like Jamar Chase. So this one just seems like this is going to be the franchise tag. We know how Dallas comports himself. They're going to wait till the last minute. This is a tough deal to get done.
And he's right. I think he's right. And look, I always got upset with the whole 1A, 1B thing. I mean, you know, when he got here, he's the number 2 guy. That's just the way it is. There was no 1A, 1B. But Pickens heard that. Pickens knows what he did when CD Lamb was out. He performed like a number 1 wide receiver. Why wouldn't he want to chase number 1 wide receiver money?
And your first big contract, your first opportunity to truly be selfish. Now, easy for me to say, dude, just take 32.
Sure.
As opposed to 40.
But,
and I get where he's coming from, but that's where you always hate the 1A, 1B. You've got a clear number 1 in CD Lamb and a clear number 2 in George Pickens. Have a defined role, because everything that you've heard has George Pickens getting top of the market wide receiver 2 money. But you're right. His numbers say wide receiver 1. But if you look Spotrac and some of those other projections, they've got him around 33, not around 40. And again, I'm spending Jerry's money, so it doesn't hurt me at all. But 33 feels like that's in the budget for Jerry. 40 doesn't feel like it's in the budget for Jerry. Does that make sense?
absolutely. Yeah.
And that's 70 plus in wide receiver money alone.
Exactly, which is why I think, I mean, but look, if you're Jerry Jones, you've got a decision to make. I mean, $28 million, that adds to that wide receiver room, and that's quite a bit of money there alone, and all of that is fully guaranteed. This is going to depend on what Jerry wants and what he sees out of George Pickens. He's going to tell you they want him, and he was a great guy, and he was a good player, but when push comes to shove, what's going to actually happen? And will the franchise tag piss off George Pickens? They're going to do it. I mean, they're going to franchise tag the guy. It's just a matter of what happens after that.
And and then we got all the armchair GMs, which I am one. Miguel on our YouTube page signed Pickens for $30 million with incentives putting him at wide receiver 1 money. Again, it's his first contract. He's going to want more guaranteed money than incentive money. But at the same time, when you have incentives in your contract, they get couched by the league as, I forget what the official terms are, but attainable, or that's never going to happen. And they're rated in there. And those still count against your cap. So you can't just use a bunch of incentives to try to circumvent the cap, because they're either attainable incentives and you get charged for them, or it's funny money and you know it's never going to happen. And so Mulligetta's not going to go for that. Mulligetta tries to get more guaranteed money for his guys than any other agent out there, it seems like.
Yeah, he's a pretty damn good agent. I mean, let's just face it, right? He's a damn good agent. The thing here's the glass half full scenario, Minix.
All right.
Tag Pickens. He's a good citizen. He plays for the Cowboys. Cowboys win the Super Bowl this year. Pickens signs a long-term deal, and we all walk away happy.
That would be an overflowing glass, my friend.
That's a glass half full.
Yeah.
That's an optimistic outlook.
Yeah.
I sound like a Cowboy fan.
Or, you sign him on the tag, you go win the Super Bowl, and then you let him walk because you've already accomplished your goals, because all these other guys that you're going to have to pay are going to be due. It's kind of like, Seattle's doing right now with the Super Bowl MVP. Love you. Thanks. We ain't going to pay you.
Boy, there's your glass half empty again.
Bah humbug.
Just bring the room down.
I mean,
holy cow.
We're still winning the Super Bowl.
My goodness.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Huh. Hey, what about winning an NBA Finals? How cool would that be if you are a San Antonio Spurs fan? Is that a realistic goal to set for the San Antonio Spurs squad? They resume their season tomorrow in Austin against the Phoenix Suns, a Suns team that has given them trouble, by the way, this year. There is one guy out there, works for ESPN. It says Spurs aren't fun. They're not fun at all.
The old boring Spurs.
Yep. We're talking about it when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Let me tell you something. The weather in this part of the country is why we live here, is it not? I mean, it's just a fantastic day today. The sun's out. I know it's going to get a little cooler, but I don't think anything's stupid cold, which only tells me you need to go in your garage or wherever your golf clubs are, dust them off, and then go to golfclubtexas.com and make your tee time for later in the week. Whether it's this weekend or Friday or maybe even Monday, it doesn't make any difference because, well, the Golf Club of Texas is open to the public 7 days a week, and they have made quite the improvement to that golf course out there. It just gets better all the time. I mean, resodding, the money they've put in there, the golf cart paths that they've redone all over the golf course, the zero-scape areas that they've done, that just adds to the beauty of the golf course, and it is a fun golf course to play. It really is. And then the cherry on top is the Tin Cup Bar and Grill. The food out there is fantastic. They can make you any kind of cocktail that you want, and there is a huge selection of cold beer, whether on draft or in a bottle or can. Either way, you can't go wrong. You're not going to be thirsty, you're not going to be hungry, and you're going to have the time of your life out at the Golf Club of Texas. Head on out there and check them out. You know exactly where it is. It's right there off Briggs Ranch Road off Highway 90. Whether it's for dinner at the Tin Cup or around with your buddies, how about your next tournament? Go check them out. Best rates always online at golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas is the friendliest golf course in Texas.
You know the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
It's tax time, y'all. If you want to file free, this next one's for you.
Now taxes is so free. Tax-free edition only. Roughly 37% of filers qualify. Simple form 1040 returns only. Now this is tax.
Love that jam. Up next, commercials.
Intuit TurboTax Free Edition. See if you qualify at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for earned income tax credit, child tax credit, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
This month, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
Attention coaches, educators, and booster clubs. Need a fundraiser that's different from the rest? With Gardenville, supporters purchase something they already need. High quality, locally sourced mulch and compost. Your organization earns money on every sale. Real products, real value, with support from Gardenville to keep it simple. Ready to grow your fundraiser? Visit garden-ville.com/fundraising. That's garden-ville.com/fundraising.
If you haven't checked out the new Novo Brazil Brewing Company attached to North Star Mall, what are you waiting for? We're talking craft beers and kombucha on tap, a handcrafted food menu, 8 massive LED screens. This is San Antonio's newest sports watching destination. It's Novo Brazil Brewing Company's first Texas location and is conveniently attached to North Star Mall and open late hours to serve you. Fresh Novo Poke Nachos, Picanha Prime Sirloin, burgers, and more. Novo Brazil Brewing Company. Go to novobrew.com. That's novobrew.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jeff's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone.
America's #1 battery destination, where Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge, and Sammy does that for free too. In no time at all, Jeff is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Thursday on the Morning Huddle, we are live from the MGM, getting you ready for Mario Barrios and Ryan Garcia.
NBA kicks it up again. Spurs are taking on Phoenix. We'll talk about what they got to do to close out this season and so much more. It's going to be a party, Vegas style. Get here early. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is a Wednesday, a good Wednesday. Hope you're having a good one, whatever you're doing, however you're doing it, and we appreciate you stopping by here and making us a part of your Wednesday afternoon. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagle. He's Jason Minix, and basketball season, NBA style, is about to get back underway.
You know, it really is. And I saw a tweet earlier from Smiling Dan Weiss that made me smile.
Well, that's what Dan does.
Dan, I mean, because it's been a while since the Spurs have had a conversation like this. But Dan Weiss tweeted out, the way too early Spurs magic number watch. To clinch a play-in spot, 12. Combination of wins or Memphis losses. To clinch a top 6 spot, 22. Combination of wins or Phoenix losses, assuming no tiebreakers here. They get Phoenix tomorrow night.
Yeah.
In Austin in a home game.
Well, and I appreciate Dan doing that because you see how close it is. Just, I mean, to get in that the top 6 teams is not going to take a lot. And the way the Spurs are sitting right now, I think the sights ought to be set a little bit higher. You go after Oklahoma City.
You don't skip steps, sir.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, you're only 3 games behind Oklahoma City.
Yep.
SGA is coming back, however, or at least we all assume he is. That was the timeline after the All-Star break, and that's going to make them a much different team, obviously. But look, the Spurs need to worry about Phoenix tomorrow night because they've had their hands full with the Phoenix Suns so far this year.
Well, and again, Phoenix, they might be the best story in the NBA, not the San Antonio Spurs. At least that's what ESPN radio host Jonathan Zaslow said.
I wouldn't call the Spurs a fun story.
What?
You know,
why not?
Like I think the Phoenix Suns and what they're doing after getting rid of Kevin Durant, and they're better this year than they were last. Like, that's a fun story. I would say the Boston Celtics have been a fun story because they're number 2 in the Eastern Conference, and who would have thought that with Jason Tatum out? San Antonio, they're second best record in the Western Conference, and they're doing it behind a player who they drafted number 1 overall and whose nickname is the Alien and has been every bit the Alien. Maybe it's ahead of schedule, but fun story? No. This is what they're supposed to be.
Is it really? After this year, this is what they're supposed to be?
Wembenyama!
I'm not sure anybody thought they were going to be this year. When we first started the NBA season, none of us projected the Spurs would be where they're at right now. Nobody. And I'm just wondering, how is it not a fun story? You got a bunch of young kids running around. I mean, honestly, you got Wemby and Castle and Harper and get the old Wiley veterans and De'Aaron Fox and Harrison Barnes. To me, this is a great story because they are ahead of schedule. And again, man, it's been this way since I started covering the Spurs 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The national media attention, there is no respect for the San Antonio Spurs.
And again, they're ahead of schedule. At the beginning of the year, and you go back to the tweet from Dan Weiss, the debate was, would they be a play-in team or make the top 6? None of us thought they had a chance at the 1 seed. And it would be, we were just, they've got to get postseason play, no matter how it was going to be.
Yes.
So you can't tell me that they're ahead of schedule and at the same time tell me they're right where they're supposed to be. They are ahead of schedule, and they are a fun team to watch. I mean, Wemby is maybe the first player since Manu that can wow you in a game after game after game after game. Like Manu, when he first got here, I mean, there were things that dude did every night, and you go, how the hell did he just do that? We do that with Wemby. There's not many NBA players that consistently make you go, did I just see that? But you do with Wemby.
Yeah,
that's fun. That's fun. Now, if this guy, Jonathan Zaslow, hasn't watched the Spurs since 2013, all right, cool. Yeah, they're right where they've always been, dude. You forgot the last 7 years. You've been in a coma.
Well, again, I don't ever look. I don't watch the Boston Celtics, and I don't consider them a fun team. I think they're overachieving without Jason Tatum, and so they're extremely overachieving. Does that make them a fun team? I don't know. What makes them a fun team? What makes the Phoenix Suns a fun team? Because Kevin Durant left, so all of a sudden they're fun now? I'm not sure his definition of fun. What is it?
Well, and again, if we're going to define fun, but you just can't sit there and say, I don't know, fun story, best story. The Spurs are one of the best stories in the NBA.
Without a doubt.
With a first-year head coach, technically. And way overachieving. And granted, they're not alone. If you want to look at great stories in the NBA this year, I would also, Detroit, are they doing exactly what we thought they were going to do? Is that not a good story?
I think it's a fun story. Detroit.
Boston is there. I look at what Charlotte has done leading into the All-Star break. I mean, all of a sudden they're playing fun basketball. But, they're Charlotte, so are they going to get talked about? Well, Charlotte probably talks about San Antonio the way we talk about Charlotte. They're not Boston. They're not the Knicks. They're not the big market. But we got Wemby, right?
Yeah, I don't understand what his definition of fun teams are. I think that could be a number of teams in the NBA. I think the Detroit Pistons, their story and the way that team plays, and I cannot wait. And I will tell you, Monday night, the Spurs are in Detroit to take on the Pistons. And I can't wait. I really can't wait. That, to me, is going to be a measuring stick of so far. I mean, I know they've done well against Oklahoma City. Don't get me wrong, defending champions. But the way this Pistons team is playing, they remind me a lot of San Antonio. Young players, exciting players, up-and-coming players. They've built through the draft. And I think that I believe Detroit will be there representing the Eastern Conference when it's all said and done.
Could you imagine a rematch of 05? Ooh. I mean, really, of all the Spurs championships, 05 to me, Game 7, just the way that whole series went, blowouts in the first couple of games.
Dude.
I mean, you had it all.
The physicalness of that.
99, the first one is always going to be special. You know, as a guy that only has one kid, I don't know what it's like to have to choose between 5 and decide which one is my favorite. Just saying. But,
05's my favorite. I had no problem saying it. That was the toughest playoff run, I think, that the Spurs had in all 5.
Well, and again, 07 was 03, but 14. The mission after losing in 13. I mean, it's hard to pick a favorite, kind of like your kids. But
I don't have a problem with
that. Again, all right, do you have them all, and you don't have to name names at this point, but of your 5, do they all have a pecking order, or you got a couple like, 05 and 14, man, you can make an argument for which one, and then there's always something special about the first one.
Well,
it's the 03 and 07 one. You got them.
Well, yeah, 99's always going to be special, so the first one's always going to be special.
Yeah.
But then, I've got another one that's probably in there. I won't say which pecking order that is.
Sure.
But I'm just saying that, look, if you're a parent and you're being truthful, you love your kids to death, all of them. But don't tell me you don't have a favorite. Don't tell me you don't have a favorite. You don't have a favorite. Well, you do.
I have a favorite.
But you only have one to pick. I'm telling you, don't tell me you don't have a favorite.
I am the favorite.
Are you an only child? Or do you have?
No, I've got a sister.
You got a sister.
See, now my parents had 2 only children, but I am the favorite, depending on the day.
My wife, Maggie, I guarantee you she's the favorite.
Yes.
There's no question in my mind. You know, her brother Brian might dispute that, but Maggie's the favorite. I don't care who you always do, or maybe favorite's the wrong word. It's that, you know, there's something a little special about that one.
Well, it's called favoritism, sir.
Well, sure.
It's the right word.
Yeah, favorite.
Yeah.
So there you go. I'm just saying. And if you'd say otherwise, you're not being totally honest, I don't think.
Are you the favorite, Joe?
Well, absolutely. Yes. Goes without saying, Pledge. Come on.
You know, I've met your brother. He thinks he's the favorite.
Well, he thinks a lot of
And your
things.
other brother thinks he's the favorite.
Well, no, he doesn't think that, and he knows better. You want to tell that my sister's the favorite, truth be told, because she was the baby. And whoa!
So is it the?
Whoa!
What happened?
Well, that was like
I know.
wait a minute. What?
Oops.
I'm pregnant?
Oops.
But she's probably she's probably the favorite. So
Yeah. Joe is the favorite in his family. Just ask him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Franklin says 2014 will always be his favorite because the beautiful hand in redemption, the beautiful game in redemption.
Well, and I just wonder, does he remember the others? I don't know how old Franklin is. Dude, I don't know. 05 is going to be my favorite, always.
07, game set, or 05, the goosebumps in the building
My
of that
gosh.
game 7. And I don't know that I've ever heard the then SBC Center louder.
It's incredible because that Pistons team was just brutal and physical and just beat the hell out of the Spurs, but yet the Spurs overcame. And it was just one of those series that was just, my gosh, every possession, every single possession was important, and just, my goodness, it was fun. But again, 99 was fun because it was the first. 14 was fun. They're all fun. Saying, but you have a favorite. It's the way that it goes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't make the rules here. That's just the way that it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, Minix, I have a real question.
Uh-oh.
Hey, you're a relatively young dude, although
I
you
am.
know, so
Compared to you.
When you talk now, you disrespect me, and I'm your elder, and I get that. We do a radio show together. But when you talk to somebody who's achieved more than you in this profession, you're respectful, are you not?
Absolutely.
Well, why is Micah Parsons such a donkey then?
Oh.
I have no idea.
Well, because he's Micah Parsons.
But we'll let you decide when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know, injuries do happen, and when they do, you can skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, strains. They can help you with about everything but Micah Parsons' foot and mouth problem that he had. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday. On-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury. But best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. So if you're injured, get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic. Learn more online at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
Nigel, why are you wearing a tuxedo?
That's not just a tux. It's a statement.
But your pants are 3 inches too short and your shirt has ruffles? Folks, there's nothing sophisticated about plumbing or AC problems. When repairs are needed, call Quarter Moon and we'll have a truck at your home or office fast, and we'll fix the problem with fair pricing.
Joel, don't be jealous of my new look.
That looks like it's from the 70s, and man, it sure is tight.
Nonsense, Joel.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, AC and Heating, 210-651-5899.
License number TACLA 141-074-EM16004.
For decades, Rudy's Barbecue has been serving San Antonio incredible barbecue. They've also been a legacy community champion, and now it's no different. Every time you visit Rudy's Barbecue, you're invited to make a $10 donation to the Puppy Food Bank, and Rudy's will give you $15 in free barbecue on your next visit. So head on over to Rudy's Barbecue for a great meal and help the Puppy Food Bank support pet rescue shelters at the same time. This Rudy's Barbecue offer is a doggone good deal.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic, plus get a $300 instant gift. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty.
Wait, what?
Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is back. Monday, March 30th at the Golf Club of Texas. Get your slot now. $150 per person or $500 per foursome. The Spring Golf Classic, benefiting fitting animals at no-kill shelters across Texas, is presented by Flight by Yingling, sponsored in part by Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chunkla, PPL Motorhomes, and Ancira.com. The Spring Golf Classic, Monday, March 30th. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
Wednesday, Getaway Wednesday here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinigle. He's Jason Minix. And, boy, I tell you, lots to talk about, but exciting day.
It is, as we head to Vegas later tonight for the Mario Barrios, Ryan Garcia Radio Road MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Of course, they fight on Saturday night, but a lot of NFL news today as well. The estate of Paul Allen has officially announced it has commenced a formal sales process for the Seahawks. They could set a record for sale price at more than $7 billion.
That seems low to me, although we look at these teams, $7 billion, obviously a lot of money, but when you're talking about an NFL franchise, and I guess I'm looking at the Cowboys because they'd be certainly 10, 12, or higher than that, $7 billion. But I guess when, was it Paul Allen?
Mm-hmm.
When he died, his sister took over and always said she was going to sell the team eventually.
Well, he directed it in his will that, and they have no errors, so it's all going to charities. Do you imagine?
That's incredible. Is that Joe Reinigle charity? Is that, did I put my application in?
And get your 501(c)(3).
Yeah, it's brand new.
Yes,
it's,
the beer fund.
Yes.
The
gambling fund.
I mean, you just know that's going to go help a lot of people. But coming off a Super Bowl win and to be for sale, which, again, no surprise.
Perfect timing, right?
Yeah. So it's there. And speaking of Super Bowl week, there is so much that goes on during Super Bowl week with Radio Row taking place and all these players with podcasts that there's stuff that you miss in the middle of the week, although I'm really surprised that Joe Reinagle missed this one because I feel like he's got alerts on his phone for anything Micah Parsons says. But
that's stupid.
That anything Micah Parsons says, right?
Saying everything he says is stupid.
According to you, it's one and the same. But this was from Super Bowl week, but I didn't see this really anywhere. Now, granted, I was out there, but, normally stuff like this and 15 people will send it to you, right? Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons on Micah's podcast.
Because I still do things that none of y'all do.
Who's none of y'all?
You will, rest of the league.
Like what?
Yeah, hold on.
Thank you, bro.
Hold on.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
Hold on. Yes, that record stands, and we're not taking that away. There's nobody in the league who can line up from left to right and play every position as if they got paid at that position. Facts.
I have a sack at every spot across the line.
You can have a sack at, I'm talking about truly play it at my weight.
I can't be 240, bro. That's
Facts.
That's not what I'm asked to do. I actually got to set the edge.
No, I
play the run.
Whoa. Hold on.
Get TFLs.
I get those too.
You got like 4 in the last 2 years.
That's cap.
All right, little cap.
That record is only going to stand for so long.
It is still currently my time.
Dude, I listened to that, and God bless Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
God bless Myles Garrett for standing up and saying, hey, young whippersnapper, I'm getting it done here, and I can not only sack quarterbacks, I can stop the run, I can set the edge, all of those things you still have to learn how to do.
Just stopping the run. But to your point, teasing into the segment, like Micah wasn't doing that podcast with C.J. Stroud.
No.
Right? You're doing it with Myles Garrett, right? Most of the time when you see players in their podcasts and they have somebody on that, I don't know, equal to, better, even though most of those guys don't ever want to think they're equal or somebody's better than them. But you pay the respects to them. And the fact that Micah, here I'm going to let Myles Garrett on my podcast here, we'll show him a little. And Myles is like, dude, I ain't having that. You're not going to talk that kind. I love that.
Well, I love it too. And
locker room talk.
To have him on the air and say, basically, you're better than he is. I mean, that's what I heard. Micah saying, I'm better than you. I can do it from every position. I can do this. I can do that.
Well,
and that, dude, is that not what he was saying?
That's exactly what he was saying.
Yes.
That's exactly what he was saying. And I'm glad Micah thinks so highly of himself and is not afraid to tell everybody about it.
Well, we knew that anyway.
Yes.
He's always been that way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. I don't have a problem with confidence. But to look over at a guy that has set the standard at the position you play and tell him you're better than he is just stupid. I don't know. There's not another word for it. It's just dumb.
Arrogant?
Stupid. I mean, it's one thing about being arrogant. There's another just being flat out stupid. Micah Parsons was stupid. Now, I don't know, 10 years from now, maybe Micah can stand up on a tree stump and say, guess what, Myles, I beat you. I'm better than you now. But right now, he's not.
Well, you're right. Right now, the record is with Myles Garrett.
Yes.
And now, granted, take age out of it, but if you were to pick one of the two, you would pick Myles Garrett.
Without a doubt, without hesitation.
For the short term. Age does have a lot to do with that.
Well, sure.
But, I mean, and both are great. Both are great players. But you know what? I'll go back to something that Michael Irvin said years ago that has always kind of stuck with me. And obviously, Michael didn't get this through to Micah Parsons when Parsons was with the Dallas Cowboys. But I remember asking Michael Irvin one time why he doesn't wear his Super Bowl ring. I mean, because you go to Super Bowl Radio Row and you see these guys walking around with their Super Bowl rings, their gold jackets, especially if they're doing something. And Michael really doesn't. Gold jacket if there's an event he's got to go to. But, hell, I don't think I've ever actually seen Michael Irvin's Super Bowl rings. And he said, I'm paraphrasing, when I got my first one, I wore it everywhere. When you got 3, you don't have to wear it. Everybody knows you have 3. You don't have to tell them you're great because they are going to tell you you're great, and you don't have to wear the rings to show that. Emmett doesn't wear his either. If Micah Parsons were ever to get 1 or 2 or 3, I don't know that he would ever take them off. I mean, he'd try to wear them during the game. You know what I mean? It just feels like, it's odd to say this sentence talking about Michael Irvin, but there is a humbleness about Michael Irvin.
Yes, there is.
When it comes to that. Humble and Michael Irvin don't belong in the same sentence. I get that. But when it comes to, if you notice, you never see Michael Irvin in his rings. And that's what he said before. Why? He doesn't have to wear them for you to know he is a Super Bowl champion. Yeah, everybody knows.
Yeah, you mentioned the word or the name Michael Irvin, and Super Bowl champion. Emmitt Smith the same way. Troy Aikman the same way. So, yeah, I agree with it. Look, I'm not a huge fan of Micah Parsons. I think he's a great player. We all know this. But to do that is just so disrespectful to a guy that in your profession has set the standard for you to try and achieve. And for you to have him on a podcast and try to tell him that you're better than he is, that is just the perfect sign of disrespect.
Yep. Ego for sure. A couple other NFL news and notes as they get all ready to gather in Indianapolis for the Combine. No surprise, the Chiefs have restructured Mahomes' deal once again. That creates a whole bunch of cap space.
Cowboys are going to do the same with Dak Prescott.
Yep. And Mahomes' contract is built to do that.
Yeah.
And I go back and I think about Lee Steinberg, who still co-represents Patrick Mahomes, but when he was fully his full-time agent and did that 10-year deal, like a baseball contract, it was built to have all these restructures in place. Genius the way they did it, and because he ain't going anywhere. He's not going anywhere, but it will always restructure with the ability to have the Chiefs to be able to go out and do stuff. Now, the Chiefs still have to make a decision on Travis Kelce, and that's going to be the more difficult decision. The right decision is to move on. Can they make that decision?
Well, I think the right decision is to move on as well. I agree with you. But I think they've kind of already said it's up to Kelce. And out of respect, Micah Parsons, for what he's done for that franchise, they're going to let him make that decision. And I think, look, if you do bring Kelce back, they've got another tight end there. And Kelce doesn't get every snap. You work it out that way. But I think he still has a rapport with Patrick Mahomes that is hard to match.
Well, and again, I mean, you think about, cap hits, and obviously getting Mahomes' deal done will save them a lot of money. But, I saw this thing from Spotrac. Deshaun Watson's cap hit for 2026 is $80.7 million.
Oh, my gosh.
Lamar Jackson, 74.5.
Mm-hmm.
Dak Prescott, 74. Jared Goff, 69.6. Josh Allen, 56.3. Now, when they do the conversion, Goff will be, that will help them save 42. Jackson's will help them save 39.9. Prescott, 30.9. Watson, 35.6. It is crazy how when you see that number and you go, well, and I just don't know why the NFL just doesn't go to normal math. This is what you do. Here's what it is. And, you don't have to have 8 math degrees to figure out what the hell all this stuff is.
Yeah, it's crazy. You do. You have to be a genius to figure out a salary cap, whether that's the NBA, the NFL, or anywhere else. And so we'll look, all of those things. Isn't Lamar due for an extension?
Well,
I think he is he not?
I don't know if it's extension time. Maybe. But they're going to have to redo his deal, and the extension might be just to spread it all out because – you know, you look at what Mahomes did, lowered his cap number from 78 to 34.
But he got a nice fat check.
Well, yeah, and that created $43 million in change in cap space. And so you get all that converted to a bonus, and Merry Christmas in February.
Yeah.
You just got a big old deposit in your account.
Well, I hope he's got a good accountant, so about half of that doesn't go to the government, to Uncle Sam. And so
Uncle Sam's getting theirs. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. But
you know,
that's going to help the team.
Some of the other news in the NFL, kind of crazy because we all thought that the Dallas Cowboys were going to get that Mexico City game.
Yep.
Because Jerry Jones wanted that Mexico City game. It's going to the San Francisco 49ers. Now, we already know the Cowboys are going to go play in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
The Niners will get that home game in Mexico City. But Field Yates tweeted out something that's just kind of crazy, and you almost wonder, fair. 49ers are going to play a regular season game in Australia. Now they've got the home game in Mexico City, and they also have cross-country road games against the Atlanta Falcons and the New York Giants. The most well-traveled team in NFL history is what they will be.
Well, look, that whole Australia thing is something that I'm sure it's going to make a lot of money for the NFL, but I wish they would rethink that. I mean, it's just so far. It's an 18-hour flight. It just screws up your entire body. Going to Mexico City, it to me is not an issue. That's probably the same as flying from San Francisco to New York or Boston or whatever. And so I'm not concerned about that. I just getting out and going all the way to the other side of the world is something that I don't think is fair, either for the Rams. I think it's the Rams and the 49ers will be playing there. To me, I don't like that. But these other things, we just have to learn to live with them, and it is what it is. So, but to have to go on 2 trips like that, if you're one team, it does seem a little unfair.
Yeah, it's like you got 2 I mean, if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, you volunteer for that.
Well, of course.
But, San Francisco, wow, that's a little. So now I'm guessing one is a road game, so it doesn't matter. They just have to fly farther. But
I think the Australia game
is a road game,
for them,
and one's a home game. But, and again, Cowboys going to Brazil, it's the same kind of deal. So.
Don't know who the 49ers are going to play in Mexico City yet. That has not been determined. But the Niners will be there. That's for sure.
They will. We've got the press conference for Christian Parker, the new Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator, scheduled for about 10, 11 minutes from right now. We'll bring that to you live. I'm curious to see if Jerry or Steven show up because the press release said Brian Schottenheimer will introduce Christian Parker. Not Jerry Jones will introduce Christian Parker.
Yeah, it will be strange if neither Jerry or Steven is not there. I mean, it will be strange to me. But who knows? We'll see. Maybe they're just going to let Shotty handle this since it's his hire. And he's gonna go out there and introduce his new defensive coordinator. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But I'm interested to hear from Coach Parker, honestly. A lot of people have talked about this guy. They're excited about him, and I want to hear what he has to say. And hopefully there's some good questions from some good folks there in the Dallas media.
Well, and there will be, but, I mean, it's they've announced that they have completed hiring the entire defensive staff, and they're all young.
Yep.
It is so different than what we are used to from Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys, from coordinator, and then you thought, all right, well, young coordinator, there's going to be some former coordinators or former head coaches on the staff. No.
Nope.
No. A lot of young guys. I don't know if this is going to work. I hope it does. But, man, at least the Cowboys are doing something different.
I think 44 years old is the oldest coach on that defensive coaching staff, and that's incredible. We'll see how it works out. I like it, though. I like it that Jerry's doing something different. That's the main thing. So we'll hear from the new defensive coordinator, Christian Parker, for the Dallas Cowboys. We expect him next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First, though, I got to talk to you about my good friends at Stevens Roofing. Love talking about Stevens Roofing. Family-owned company, local company, and look, they've been in business here in San Antonio and South Texas since 1983. I really shouldn't have to say anything else because if you're thinking about a new roof on your house, a repaired roof on your house, or now solar panels on your house, wouldn't you want a company that has stood the test of time and has a reputation that is beyond impeccable? It is impeccable. That's the word I'm looking for. I love Stevens Roofing and Solar. If you have been thinking about solar panels, there's no other company you need to call than Stevens Roofing and Solar. 210-785-0994. Tell them what you're thinking about. They'll help you put a plan together, and they'll help bring it to reality where you can start and save your money and do everything you want to do with those solar panels. If you think there's something wrong with your roof, maybe you're noticing some leaks or some spots in your ceiling, then you want to get your roof checked out, call Stevens Roofing and Solar. They'll send an experienced team out to your house that will check your roof for free, and they'll let you know if there's any issue up there that needs to be resolved. And if they tell you there's something wrong, you got the perfect team to get that taken care of, and you know it's going to be done right. Stevens Roofing and Solar, 210-785-0994, or you can get them online at stevensroofing.net.
Riding 281 with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is back. Round up your foursome, your work crew, your weekend golf buddies, even the ladies, and get ready for a fun, laid-back day at the Golf Club of Texas. Monday, March 30th. Lock in a team for just $500 for a foursome, or jump in solo for $150 per player and spend the day talking trash, crushing drives, and laughing your way around the course. This isn't a stuffy golf club tournament. It's golf the way it should be. The Spring Golf Classic benefits feeding animals at no-kill shelters across Texas, so you're having a great time for a great cause. Presented by Flight by Yingling and sponsored by Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chunk Club, PPL Motorhomes, and Ancira.com. And when the last putt drops, the day is just getting started. Join us for the after party at the 90 Proof Bar at Lucky Ranch Road and Highway 90. Cold drinks, great food, and all the post-round storytelling you can handle. So pick your team, claim your spot, and tee up with San Antonio's Sports Star. Sign up your foursome now at sasportstar.com.
Attention coaches, educators, and booster clubs. Need a fundraiser that's different from the rest? With Gardenville, supporters purchase something they already need. High quality, locally sourced mulch and compost. Your organization earns money on every sale. Real products, real value, with support from Gardenville to keep it simple. Ready to grow your fundraiser? Visit garden-ville.com/fundraising. That's garden-ville.com/fundraising.
So, which one's yours?
The one at bat.
Strike two.
Oh, that's okay, Chris. Only my kid could strike out in T-ball. Oh, run, Chris, go!
Looks like he's having some trouble running.
Oh, he's wandering way off the baseline.
It's like he can't see.
Oh my gosh, his helmet is too big.
It's as big as a crack pot.
You know, I must have gotten him an adult one. What was I thinking?
You're out!
Oh.
When safety equipment doesn't fit, it's game over. That goes for your kid, too. If they're too big for a car seat, that doesn't mean they're the right size for an adult safety belt. If they're under 4'9", they need a booster seat. It raises them up so the safety belt fits properly. And the right fit makes all the difference to their future. To learn more, visit www.boosterseat.gov. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Thursday on the Morning Huddle, we are live from the MGM, getting you ready for Mario Barrios and Ryan Garcia.
NBA kicks it up again. Spurs are taking on Phoenix. We'll talk about what they got to do to close out this season and so much more. It's going to be a party, Vegas style. Get here early. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, some interesting local news here. The Las Vegas Raiders set to interview Vikings offensive assistant coordinator Jordan Traylor for quarterbacks coach. Jordan, of course, is the son of UTSA head coach Jeff Traylor. Dallas Mavericks star Kyrie Irving will miss the rest of the season. He continues to recover from knee surgery had last March. Thought about coming back, but they've decided to shut him down for the rest of the year.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
On a hump day!
Hump day!
Hump day!
Hump day!
Yeah. Happy hump day, everybody. Hope you're having a good one out there, however you're getting it done, whatever you're doing. Thanks for spending some time with us here on the Blitz. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. He's Jason Minix, and you're having a good hump day there, Minix.
Oh, absolutely.
All right,
it's a good, good getaway day.
Getaway hump.
Heading to Vegas later tonight.
It's a getaway hump.
You know, while we wait for the Christian Parker press conference to get underway.
Hump day.
I don't know if I should bring
Hump
this up.
day.
Of course you should bring it up.
You know, during the commercial break, I went down the hall, and I saw a colleague of ours, and I just said, how you doing? You know, just, the friendly conversation in the hallway. And he said, professionally or personally? Like, either way, what's good? He's like, man, 30, and I'm single, and I'm getting so many free meals because he likes dating older ladies.
Yeah.
And he's like, you don't have to worry about getting them pregnant, and they buy the dinners. It's great.
Yeah, sounds good.
I'm thinking, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Sounds good.
I didn't have enough time to get more details than that, but...
Did you really want more details than that?
No. But
with
maybe,
or without teeth?
Well, all right, now that you bring that up, I don't know if he calls them Puffy Pledge, but I would assume if he's having sex, no. And if they're buying dinner, because I would think that would be a buzzkill, if you will. That might,
yes,
that might kill the mood. But yeah, it was random, not what I was expecting.
Well, I mean, yeah. Hey, sometimes I would take that as a compliment, Minix, because, sometimes people just don't open up to everybody. So you must have one of those trusting faces.
Oh, sure.
And I mean, that this guy thought he could open up and just let you know how happy he is.
Well, and again, I'm happy for him. And, but I've never, granted, I've been married for 30 years, but I've never thought about, if you're young and you're going after older women. I mean, we all have heard the term cougar hunting.
Yes.
But I've never thought about it in a way that, well, that's just birth control. I mean, they just can't get pregnant, right?
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, well, no, but I've never thought about it in those terms. Like, yeah, you're right. I mean, because I can tell you, after I had my vasectomy, you realize, man, worry-free sex is the best, right? But, I mean, he's got that just naturally.
Thinking about that guy having sex with anybody is not exactly appealing. I'm just saying.
Well, I think you can say that about most people.
Well, maybe.
Right?
Sure.
Now, granted, I don't know that I've met any of the ladies that he's sleeping with, because that might be even, although maybe, you never know. It's
interesting, though, and he's 30 years old, and I was a little bit younger. that was appealing. Older ladies, in their 40s.
Well, when I was younger,
and
I
stuff.
was thinking, older would be like in their 30s.
Sure.
I think he's going for 60s.
Dude, when I was a lifeguard in high school.
Uh-oh. Well, when you were in high school, it didn't matter.
Dude,
if there was a pulse, you were going for it.
Well, yeah, but I worked at Alice Country Club.
Oh, so they were rich old ladies.
And back in those days, yes, there was a lot of oil money in Alice back in those days. And yes, there were a lot of 30-somethings.
30-somethings
that were always appealing to a 17-year-old kid.
Again, pulse.
And I was probably maybe
and willing.
Well, yeah, but it was fun. But as you get older, and I think most men are this way. No offense, ladies, but you start looking the other way. If you're single, I'm not talking about us married guys.
Well, yeah.
And as you get older, you might have to buy more toys like that one.
Unplug it, maybe.
I don't know. Interesting stuff. We are waiting on Christian Parker and the Dallas Cowboys to begin their press conference. This is the introductory press conference for Mr. Parker. Marty, I almost said Marty Schottenheimer. Brian Schottenheimer.
Speaking of old.
I know. Brian Schottenheimer supposedly going to introduce his new defensive coordinator to the media there at the Star. So I'm looking forward to hearing what he has to say.
Well, and again, I think one of the parts of this press conference that is going to be, I think, most interesting, the anticipation for me is who's in the room. Because it did say Brian Schottenheimer will introduce Christian Parker.
Yeah.
Not Jerry Jones, not Stephen Jones. And unless they're out of town, which is highly possible. But these are the kind of things that Jerry loves.
Yeah, no doubt.
Although maybe this is a strategic PR move by the Dallas Cowboys not to have Jerry or Stephen there, so the focus doesn't turn to George Pickens and his contract situation and stays on Christian Parker, the new defensive coordinator.
That could very well be, because if Jerry's there or Stephen, absolutely that will come up with no doubt about it. Pickens
question.
Will come up. Yes.
Second question. And again, very different for the Dallas Cowboys because it's not like they've ever tried to duck situations like that. Jerry will spend 12-minute answers not answering anything on a topic like that. So maybe they strategically said, Jerry, sit this one out so that the focus is on the staff and on Christian Parker and how he is going to fix this Dallas Cowboys defense. Because if Jerry is there, it's going to be George Pickens, George Pickens, George Pickens, George Pickens, George Pickens.
Well, if Jerry is there, and the first question to me, and I'm Christian Parker, and they say, how are you going to fix this defense? I'm looking over at Jerry and saying, write me a check. I need money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he's not going to say that, I know, but that's what I'd be thinking. Jerry.
Well,
hey,
buddy,
I need some money.
And Pledge is going to call you out. Technically, he just got a check. He got a job. But no, he's going
to. Not him, to buy free agents.
Yeah, he's going to sound like a college coach, It's, I need some money for this player here,
right.
And I need some money for that player there. The problem is he can't dip into the NIL fund and get it. He's got to dip into Jerry Jones's salary cap bank account and get that money. But you got to believe those questions were asked in the interview process. Now, Christian Parker, I don't know the man. Did he say whatever, boss, just to get the job? Or did he hear the answers he wants so that his first time being a coordinator is likely to be successful? Because the guy was going to be a defensive coordinator somewhere this year. Now, it looks like there are two chairs up there.
That's it.
I only see two. So Brian Schottenheimer and Christian Parker. The Joneses aren't there because the media is now tweeting out photos as we wait for them. Should we take a break early?
Yeah, I think we should.
All right, let's do that.
I think we should. Let's take a break. We're waiting on the new defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, Christian Parker, in his introductory press conference. Hopefully that begins next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you're looking for TRT, you don't want to pay hundreds or settle for low-dose TRT. You need to get into Synergenics or Low T Center, where they take most insurance plans and they customize each dose for maximum safe results. You don't want to compromise your health. You know, Synergenics and Low T Center have been highlighted for having the highest quality testosterone on the market. They only use pharmaceutical-grade testosterone, never compounded. You know exactly what is going in your body. They are the best at doing it, and they've been doing it for well over a decade. And the T-test is absolutely free. And the providers you meet and work with at Synergenics and Low T Center are all board-certified and experts in their field, not some random chatbot or a provider you will never actually see. They also have a variety of peptides to help with healing, muscle tone, recovery, sleep, weight loss, even hair and skin quality. And right now you can get $50 off per vial for select peptides and GLP-1s. So book that free testosterone test and pick up discounted GLP-1s and peptides while you are there. Go to Synergenics.com or LowTCenter.com and get that appointment booked today.
The Headline Blitz is brought to you by Novo Brewery, San Antonio's newest sports watching destination with over 80 feet of video walls, 60 craft beers, and hard kombucha on tap. A full bar and delicious menu. Novo Brewery is attached to North Star Mall and open late hours. San Antonio's newest sports headquarters is Novo Brewery. We're talking over 80 feet of massive video walls, a lineup of craft beers, and hard kombucha on tap. Novo Brewery, juicy, thick-cut ribeye steaks, picanha prime sirloin, Brazilian empanadas, stacked burgers, and more. Novo Brewery, built for fans, friends, and full-on game day energy. Novo Brewery, attached to North Star Mall with late hours. Check out the menu and taps at novobrew.com. That's novobrew.com.
Get in gear at North Park Chevrolet in Castroville, your 5-time dealer of the year. $13,000 off MSRP on new 2026 Silverado 1500s. 5.9% financing on new heavy duties for 84 months. Save $10,000 off MSRP on the 2026 Tahoe Premier. Ready to go electric? Get the 2026 Equinox EV with $13,000 off MSRP. Together, let's drive North Park Chevrolet. 10 minutes by Loop 410 in Castroville. Must qualify. Call 830-355-2107 for full price and offer details.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Smooth accelerators. When that light turns green, you're off. Like a warm knife through firm butter. Going from 0 to the speed limit in an appropriate amount of time. Sure, your car has horsepower, but your horses prance around as silky smooth as your right foot. Fancy Prancerton. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
Are you stuck staring at your W-2? Are tax refund worries holding you back? You probably have FOMO, the fear of messing up. The fix? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. It's time to overcome your fear of messing up and get your taxes done right. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at TSAOG.com.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Thursday on the Morning Huddle, we are live from the MGM, getting you ready for Mario Barrios and Ryan Garcia.
NBA kicks it up again. Spurs are taking on Phoenix. We'll talk about what they got to do to close out this season and so much more. It's going to be a party, Vegas style. Get here early. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Well, Cowboys press conferences rarely start on time.
Yeah, but if Jerry's not there, you kind of thought it might.
It's scheduled to start at 3 o'clock. It is now 3:15 here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, and they still haven't started yet.
No, I don't think.
Maybe they locked Jerry in a room somewhere, and he's throwing a fit.
It's possible. It's doubtful. Jerry's not there. It should start on time.
Something's going on. I don't know if it's they're certainly not schooling their new defensive coordinator, I wouldn't think. Brian Schottenheimer's usually pretty good on the podium. Don't know about Christian Parker. I honestly have never heard him speak at a podium or an interview or anything, to be totally honest with you.
This is what's going to be interesting and fun about it. Now, it's possible that the family is taking photos or still getting a tour, but
could be.
The Cowboys are typically buttoned up on press conferences. Now, with Jerry there, things often get delayed, and everybody's waiting on Jerry. And again, with all the here we go.
I got to buy lunch again? Could have brought some food, Tad.
All right, Calvin. Tad slipping. Calvin Watkins of the Dallas Morning News. I have a question for each of you. First for Brian. The process to hiring Christian was a little different from when you hired the previous coordinator. Why the change? Why it was so extensive this go around?
Well, I think obviously we wanted to get it right. We're excited about the process and how it worked out. I think, when you look at what we did last year on offense, we went through a very thorough process and came away with a bunch of guys that I really hadn't worked with, had been known about them for a while. But I think this was really just something where we were excited to say, hey, take a deep breath. Let's get it right. I think we did over 40 total interviews, 9 of which were coordinators. He was the last one, by the way. He was the last Zoom that we did. And every impression we had with CP was just left us wanting more. The conviction that he has, but curious, his calm demeanor, you guys will get to know him. Just the way he carries himself is awesome. But really the process was thorough. It was long. Jerry and Steven, I think, they hung with me, which is great. We did so many layers of this thing, man. I mean, we got into concepts and techniques at every level. To hear Jerry talk about playing 4-eye was really cool for me. He's going back to Arkansas now. So, I don't think they called them 4 eyes back then. But when we got into the weeds, man, and just every time we spent time with CP, it became very clear that he was the guy for the job.
This is for Christian. Obviously, everyone wants to know, what kind of defense do you want to bring to the Cowboys?
Well, the first thing is we're going to be multiple. I think that whenever you form a defensive structure, it's about the players that you have. So core principles, we'll be a 3-4 by nature, but, 4-3 spacing will be appropriate, 4-2-5 in nickel, different front structures, coverages behind it. But I would say being multiple is probably the most important thing about it.
Clarence Hill, DLLS Cowboys. First, Shotty, talk about the trust that Jerry and those guys showed in you to lead the process.
Well, again, I think, Jerry and Steve and I, grew very close over the years. Just we had real conversations, as you know, Clarence, and spent a lot of time together. But we did this together, and it was awesome, and the process was awesome. And I'm not being funny when I say, to get, Jerry to be willing to sit in on 40-something interviews, was extremely I was stoked. I mean, I was so excited that he wanted to dive deep into the weeds with us and go into the fundamentals and the techniques and all those things we talked about. And, we stayed in constant communication, and that's how you feel great about it. And like I said, like we told all the candidates when they came in, for us, we felt like last year we were able to build a program on offense. And we wanted to build a program on defense where you're self-sustaining. You've got great coaches, and when we win, which we're going to win, and we're going to compete for Super Bowls, people come after your staffs. You look at what Seattle and some of those teams are dealing with right now, and you want to have the infrastructure and the people underneath to where, you promote from within more times than not. And so it was a great process, and they were in it along the way, along with a few other guys. And I believe in the process. I'm a process guy, and I think we hit a home run with this guy.
Brian Schottenheimer in the Cowboys press conference live here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
In their respective cities. But what stood out about CP that put him at the top of the list?
Again, the way he carries himself. He's wise beyond his years. I mean this. He's convicted. I did tell him that I was a coordinator at 32 years old. He's 34, so he's been slacking. I'm a little disappointed that, I had to beat him by 2 years. But, I say that in jest because, he's been preparing for this for the last 4 or 5 years. When you're designing defense, you're the pass game coordinator on defense, you're basically involved in calling third downs and giving those things. And I say it because it's real. He was the last Zoom that we did. And as he started talking, it wasn't just him talking about his watches and his shoe game. He got a serious shoe game. Yeah, he got a shoe room. You guys can write about that. He's got a shoe room. Man, every time we talk, we just would get off a call or get off the Zoom and get off the interview, just be like, damn, I want more of that. And I think his ability to develop players is very obvious. You look at what he did in Denver, involved with Surtain, and you look at what they did in Philadelphia, obviously with Cooper DeJean and Mitchell and guys like that. He's done it. And, ton of respect for Vic Fangio. He's cut his, teeth under Vic, but he's not Vic. He's got his own convictions and beliefs, and that's what I love about the guy.
Real quickly, congratulations.
Thank you.
What stood about the Cowboys for you, and why did you want this job?
I think when we initially started the process, you could tell there was an aligned vision for what they wanted in the position, where we wanted to go forward. Obviously, a great deal of respect for not only the organization, but the players involved on the team, having been in division for the past 2 years and having different times going against them. Significant offensive firepower, stayed up a lot of late nights trying to prepare for. So it always helps when you have a franchise quarterback and offensive skill players on that side of the ball that can control the game for you. But I think the biggest thing was just the alignment. You could feel from everybody in the building during those interactions that there was a shared vision involved and people wanted to move forward in the right direction.
Christian, Todd Archer with ESPN. How ready are you for this?
I'm ready.
Where does the confidence come from that you know you're ready to handle it?
I think confidence comes from preparation, and I think that I've been able to learn from the right people. So I think that when you've been involved with, different people along my journey that I've learned under as head coaches and defensive coordinators, number one, and then the diversity of scheme that I've been involved with, and then you kind of become accustomed to what you're comfortable with in your own ideas. You like certain things, you don't like certain things, what will work, what won't work. I think as you kind of get involved with different people, you kind of form your own identity. So when you have that opportunity, you know what you want to do. And I've kind of gone through that process internally for a great deal of my career. So I prepared as much as I possibly can at this moment.
And obviously it wasn't a good year for the Cowboys defensively last year and what they did, but your thoughts on what is in-house here and how you can improve the guys that are already here as opposed to waiting for what happens in the draft?
Yeah, I mean, the game is definitely won and lost up front. And we have significant players in the front seven. And so I think that when you start with that defensive line room and what you're able to do in controlling the pocket, stopping the run, you control what an offense is able to do, and you're able to dictate to them on their terms. So you're not playing the whole playbook when you win first and second down. So I think it starts there. That's where the excitement starts. And there's several other pieces that have been proven playmakers. And we look forward to kind of bringing it all together in the next couple months.
New Cowboys defensive coordinator Christian Parker getting introduced. You're listening to the press conference on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I think you have to know the student first and foremost. You have to know who you're talking to. What might hit one player's brain is going to hit different than another. So being thorough and being detailed, being very clear and concise in terms of your messaging and when to correct, when not to correct. Sometimes players got to touch the stove. You just want to do it in a controlled environment. But just how to do that, the diversity of teaching, whether it's on the field, in the meeting room, Kahoot quizzes, physical quizzes, showing them video examples, having them teach it in front of a room. There's so many different ways that you can kind of get in the weeds of teaching, scheme, technique, situational awareness, and really you just want to expose players to as many different examples because it's going to hit everybody differently in terms of how they're able to learn that.
And I don't know, it might be for both of you, but as you were filling out the defensive staff, how important was that when you were interviewing candidates, the teaching aspect of it?
Well, I'll take it first. I think, I was impressed with Christian, obviously, through the whole process, but impressed me even more was when I saw him interacting through this process of going through the interviews for the position jobs, right? Like, there was an alignment he and I had talked about before we offered them the job about, okay, well, let's talk about some things because obviously there's a very competitive field when you're trying to build a staff and there's good coaches out there. There's good coaches in different realms, but seeing him through the interview process, John, got me really excited about him as a leader, him being, very comfortable having the hard conversations. That's what I am. I'm a person who loves to have hard conversations. And again, the reason we wanted to talk before we decided to do this partnership was to make sure we could have those hard conversations. And so I think that's something from the very beginning that I felt great about. Anything with staff?
No, I think that we, extensive search, very thorough, trying to just balance it. I think, compatibility is very important. And obviously the teaching element is significant, right? But you want to have the right collection of people by position, whether it's, what schemes they've been in previously, what they've done, their area of focus and expertise when it comes to game planning and all that kind of stuff with player development. And, we definitely feel like we have the right mix.
Is the interview process the first time you guys have ever met?
No, we met when we had joint practice when I was in Denver in 2022. There was like a little coaches mixer at Ocean Prime out there in the Denver Tech area. We met real quick.
See how smart he is? I wouldn't remember that.
Yeah, we met real quick. But that was a, just quick handshake introduction. There was a bunch of other people around during that time, but actually having, conversation and talking football and everything else, this process was the first time.
And you guys know this with me, like this is a name that I've had in my notebook for the last couple years. People just kept talking about this guy from Denver and Green Bay originally, but Denver and then in Philadelphia, and so he was a name that I'd been, hearing a lot about for a long time, no different than Clayton Adams, in terms of, hey, if you ever get a shot, these would be names that you would be intelligent and smart to talk to.
Hey, Christian, Nick Harris, Forward Star Telegram, congratulations. Obviously, your experience is pretty deep. Brian mentioned Vic Fangio, but also Vance Joseph, even Mike Elko. How do you see those guys playing into you building this scheme and call sheet for the first time in your career? And then where do you see your little nuances coming into play as well?
Yeah, a lot of them have a lot of similarities but differences. I think foundationally, Vic, Vance, Mike Pettin, Coach Elko, Ajero Evero all came out of a 3-4 structure. I think that once you get past that, from the fronts you build and the coverages you do and the personality on third down, red zone, you definitely have a mentality as a play caller, but I think that it's still going to be designed around the players that you have. So there's different nuances that I've taken from each one of them. And even people outside of that, as I've had extensive studies and you build relationships outside of the circle you've been in that you want to incorporate with what you want to do.
And then are you more of a guy that falls under the line of thinking of building a scheme around the players or acquiring players to fit the scheme?
I think you build it around the players. Of course, you want to have your core principles and foundational beliefs, but as you kind of move forward in the process, what do your guys do well? How can you put good players in highlighted positions? How can you create one-on-ones for certain guys? How you can protect certain guys? If we can win on blitzes on a running back, then we're going to blitz a lot. If we got good man-to-man corners, we're going to play man. If we have guys that are better with zone vision, we're going to play more zone. So, you want to build a package that has diversity and scheme, and then you want to, tailor it to the players that you have. And, of course, there are schematic fits, but I think the really good players are the ones that you can't peg them in a certain scheme, and that's the only way they can play football. You want to have guys that no matter what scheme they're in, they can be significant contributors, and then you want to just highlight it around their strengths.
You mentioned those core beliefs, philosophies. What are those for you, one or two?
Yeah, I think definitely want to stop the run and affecting the quarterback. I think are the two most important things you can do. You affect the quarterback by stopping the run. Sometimes affecting the quarterback comes through pressure. Sometimes it comes through disguise. Sometimes it comes through just the talent that you're able to have and the ability to play, the play style. But I think those two things are where it starts. Because if you can stop the run, you can get teams in predictable downs on second, get back on track, and then third and longs, then you have more schematic versatility. If we're playing a whole bunch of 3rd and 2s and 3rd and 3s, usually those aren't the defenses that are successful. But if you can win first down and you're strong in the fundamentals, we're getting off blocks, we're tackling, we're attacking the football, we're situationally aware, those are the ones that are successful.
94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star, the introductory press conference for new Cowboys defensive coordinator Christian Parker.
Some of the guys that you've got now here in Dallas, like a Savon Rebel or a Deron Bland, what do you see their next steps being under your vision?
Yeah, I mean, they have different strengths. Definitely evaluated Rebel last year in the draft process. Had one of his teammates at Denver, Jaquan McMillan from ECU, so kind of had a little bit of intel there. But, his ability to erase receivers in press coverage, he's very aggressive in run support, and he has the long speed and athletic traits that you want at the position. Obviously, coming off the injury, getting him healthy is a significant part of that, and him having the confidence to do so. And then Bland, just he's instinctive and he takes the ball away at a high rate. You saw that from Sac State to Fresno to now here. So very excited to work with those guys.
Now that you're the coordinator, not as much time to spend with the defensive backs, how do you plan to manage your time so that you can still keep developing defensive backs like you have in the past and also manage all the units on your defense?
Yeah, well, I think it starts with the coaches that we hired. Have a lot of confidence in Derek Ansley, Ryan Smith, and Rob Muschamp in the secondary to drive the bus when it comes to that and the development. Obviously, my eyes are naturally going to start there when it comes to it, and I'm going to have to fight the magnetic force during individual periods that's going to draw me to the DVs and go somewhere else. But have a lot of confidence in those guys to teach and develop those players, and we're excited about that.
Shane Slater, NFL Network. Coach, do you think last year your team had a defensive identity? And if it didn't, what did you want it to be at the end of the season?
Yeah, again, I think, talking to the players, I think they did feel that way a little bit. And I think, there was a change that was made, and the change was made when we got Quinnen. And all of a sudden the 5 down becomes real, and so you start making those adjustments. The biggest thing I would say, Jane, though, was it was more about the identity moving forward. And that's why the process was so long. That's why it was so many Zooms and so many interviews. And you get the coordinator, you're not done. Because, again, Christian's a great coach. But, again, you got to have the position rooms, managed the same way. What's been awesome for me, Jane, has been the excitement of our players. Our players are around a little bit, whether they're just hanging around, but they're coming to see him and be around. You see the excitement for Christian and the other staff and the connection that's already started. And so for me, that gets me excited because, again, that's what you want. You want these guys to be excited about not only what Christian, but Marcus Dixon, Scott Simons are all going to bring to this defense. And there will be an identity and there will be a philosophy. And I think that we've done the first part, but there's still a lot of work left.
My next one's for Christian. One thing we got to know with Shadi last year was his why. What was your why when you got into coaching?
I think that I had a lot of coaches over the course of my life that really helped develop me outside of my parents. The discipline, the confidence factor, the team element of it. I think, I'm the oldest of 3 boys, so, being a big brother, there's an element of that in the coaching side too, in terms of the relationships that you build and how you try to help them learn from their own mistakes, but also not letting them fall under the same things that you might have encountered. And I think just passion for the game. I love football. I love everything it brings, game day, practice, the late nights watching film, all that stuff. And then you kind of find this happy medium, and it never feels like work.
Skyler Dixon with the AP. Christian, welcome. Cooper DeJean had some high praise for you on social media when the news broke. And Shadi mentioned the development of him and Quinion Mitchell. I just wondered, from your point of view, how much do you think the development of those 2 guys and maybe some others sort of led to this opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, I think, great players make great coaches. So, when you're around talented individuals that love the game like you do and they're willing to put in that work, there's definitely a happy marriage there when it comes to player development. They challenge you as a coach. I mean, there's been plenty of players that you learn from them, whether it's how you taught them or things they might have done at a different stop or how they see the game between the lines. So I think it's definitely some give and take there when it comes to that. But I was definitely blessed to have coached some of the guys in my past.
Did you watch the NFC East Hard Knocks at all?
No.
Okay. I'm just curious if you would see kind of inside this building. I know you don't get to see deep inside of the building and that, but
I avoided. I didn't want to watch that stuff. No.
Ask him about The Gambler. Does he watch The Gambler?
I did.
Yeah, he did watch The Gambler. Smart man.
Yeah, so I did.
Give me the Cliff Notes.
That was kind of my, I kind of I was snowed in Philly and, accepted the job. I was there, couldn't get really out. And we were just, doing Zoom interviews all day and stuff. And I started watching a couple of those episodes to try to educate myself a little bit. So, yeah, that was good.
Smart man. Christian Parker, new defense coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys, his introductory press conference. I'm surprised nobody asked, where's Jerry? The fact that it's Brian Schottenheimer and Christian Parker. No Jerry, no Steven. Again, a different offseason for the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, yeah, different offseason, but I think you said this before going in, so it wouldn't turn into a George Pickens press conference. And what are you going to do about him? I think this was all about Coach Parker and how he's going to coach the Cowboys. And I tell you what, I there's a lot of things that he said that I like. I mean, you got to put them into place and make sure they work, but building around the players that you have, and he's a confident guy. He said he's ready.
Ready, no hesitation. I don't want to say soft-spoken, but direct and confident. I like what I heard. It almost sounds like the Schottenheimer introductory press conference. He won the press conference, or at least I'm looking at that. What about you? You just heard from the guy. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. If you're watching on YouTube, you can comment there. First impressions of Christian Parker.
What did you think about him? Let's talk about it when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know, it is a Wednesday. That means steak night at the Roo Pub there at 281 and Redland Road. That steak is fantastic. Great 12-ounce ribeye, your potato, your salad for $19.95. You can't beat that deal, and you know there's no better place to go watch any big game, any big event than at the Roo Pub with those three massive 170-inch screens. TVs all around, so if you're thinking about, the Spurs tomorrow night or the big fight coming up with Mario Barrios on Saturday night, get into the Roo Pub. It's going to be fantastic. When you do go hungry, steak night, sure, but they got about 15 different burgers on the menu. I love their fried shrimp. They have the biggest and best wings in town, the hot dogs, the chicken sandwiches, the appetizers, even their salads, I'm told, are wonderful. And that kitchen, open late every day with the full menu available. So when you need a late-night meal, don't go to a drive-thru. Get into the Roo Pub there at 281 and at Redland Road. Happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night. The best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant, the Roo Pub, 281 and Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is back. Round up your foursome, your work crew, your weekend golf buddies, even the ladies, and get ready for a fun, laid-back day at the Golf Club of Texas. Monday, March 30th. Lock in a team for just $500 for a foursome, or jump in solo for $150 per player and spend the day talking trash, crushing drives, and laughing your way around the course. This isn't a stuffy golf club tournament. It's golf the way it should be. The Spring Golf Classic benefits feeding animals at no-kill shelters across Texas, so you're having a great time for a great cause. Presented by Flight by Yingling and sponsored by Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Shun Club, PPL Motorhomes, and Ancira.com. And when the last putt drops, the day is just getting started. Join us for the after party at the 90 Proof Bar at Lucky Ranch Road and Highway 90. Cold drinks, great food, and all the post-round storytelling you can handle. So pick your team, claim your spot, and tee up with San Antonio's Sports Star. Sign up your foursome now at sasportstar.com.
Ah, the most beautiful time of year is upon us. Tax season. And Tax Slayer is here to help you file. we guarantee 100% accuracy and your maximum refund. Those are some good numbers. And you can trust me, because I'm a talking calculator. Did I mention TaxSlayer even has support from real US-based humans? If you have any questions along the way, beat the rush and start for free today. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
It's tax time, y'all. If you want to file free, this next one's for you.
Now taxes is so free. TurboTax, free edition only. Roughly 37% of filings qualify. Simple form 1040 returns only. Now this is tax.
Love that jam. Up next, commercials.
Intuit TurboTax free edition. See if you qualify at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for earned income tax credit, child tax credit, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
Not sure how to tackle your taxes? Are you sweating the small print? You may be experiencing FOMO, the fear of messing up. The answer? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it, with a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. It's time to take your taxes to the max. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Attention coaches, educators, and booster clubs. Need a fundraiser that's different from the rest? With Gardenville, supporters purchase something they already need. High quality, locally sourced mulch and compost. Your organization earns money on every sale. Real products, real value, with support from Gardenville to keep it simple. Ready to grow your fundraiser? Visit garden-ville.com/fundraising. That's garden-ville.com/fundraising.
Well, we just heard from the new defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, Christian Parker. What are your initial thoughts of the new DC there with the Cowboys? This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe. He's Jason. Your initial thoughts?
Solid, prepared, confident. You know, and for a young coach, a young person.
Yeah.
Public speaking is difficult. And if you're not used to doing it, it could be bad. I mean, we've seen some really bad, awkward introductory press conferences. Liam Cohen last year.
Yes.
Nick Sirianni. Hell, Dan Campbell's introductory press conference with the Lions was weird, wasn't it? What I liked was it seems like Brian Schottenheimer and Christian Parker are on the same page, right? We've seen press conferences before where you would have the new guy contradict the guy introducing, right? You didn't have that. It felt like they were already on the same page. You know, he's very elegant, very confident in his words, and very direct. Like, he didn't have to think about anything. What are you running here? This. What are you doing? That. Boom. That. I mean, prepared. He was prepared for it. That was an impressive opening press conference.
Well, and that's great. And again, that you got to start somewhere,
Yep.
right? And he did. I like the things that he said. He's completely different from Matt Eberflus, where the players hated that he wasn't flexible enough. He said himself, and one of the best things that I thought he said was you work around what your players are good at. If we've got some good corners, we'll play man. If not, it'll be more of a zone. If you know you rush the passer, that will determine it. And I like where he sounds flexible. And depending on the situation, depending on the players that he has. And look, let's face it. And a lot of these questions today, now some of these players he's going to have to deal with, but there's going to be some that are brand new that he's going to work in, and what are their strengths. So long way to go before we figure out how this guy is going to use the pieces that he has in place. But I'm with you. I mean, I think the press conference was fine. I like the confidence that this young man has, and I think it was a good hire. And I applaud the Cowboys for finally getting it done this way, and letting Brian Schottenheimer lead the way on it, and hiring the people that he feels comfortable with.
And I don't know if Brian Schottenheimer shed some light into the way the Cowboys have done business and the way they're doing business now. Now, I'm just speculating here, but they did over 40 interviews. They did 9 for the defensive coordinator job, but all these other interviews. But Schotty actually seemed surprised that Jerry was a part of all of those interviews.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, so am I, because the dude is busy. I know he's got the title of general manager, but we've all, hell, even at this radio station, you get past this guy, then you get to the big guy, right? Yeah, I mean, it's and maybe in years past, Jerry only made time to do 3 or 4 interviews with somebody that he knew, and he picked one. Maybe Schottenheimer just told us Jerry hadn't been this thorough in years past. This year, he was thorough and a part of the process. If Schottenheimer would have said, I wanted to do 4 interviews, and Jerry said, all right, give me your top 5 and I'll talk to them, I would have understood that. But I do think credit to Jerry Jones, credit to Schottenheimer for convincing Jerry this is the way to do it, that Jerry was a part of the process, but that he also just kind of tell us the way it was. And could that explain why, I don't know, guys like Mike Zimmer or Eberflus got a job? Yeah, I know them. We've had dinner before. Come on, you want to be DC? I mean, does that, am I reading wrong into that?
No, it sounds like what Jerry Jones would say. I could clearly hear him saying that. Again, I think a lot of this is different, and it should be refreshing for Cowboy fans. Now, again, you got to get it right. You got to hit on it. These guys have to do what they're hiring the right coaching staff is great, and I think it makes a difference, but now you need the pieces for these guys to work with. And I'm not sure that not all of those pieces are there on that defensive side of the football. They need some help still. So now the next step comes. You want to applaud Jerry for doing what he's doing. Now he's got to continue taking the steps that are necessary to fix this defense. Because as we mentioned yesterday, talking to Shireen Williams from ProFootballTalk.com, she mentioned a whole grocery list of things that the Cowboys need to fix on that defense.
Well, I mean, the reality is, what ended the year last year on the Dallas Cowboys defensive side of the ball, what do you figure? 5, 6 starters are going to be back? So you're going to need 5 or 6 starters? I'm not even getting into the depth, but outside of Quinnen Williams, Osi Odigizua, I would have said Kenny Clark, but there's too much talk about Kenny Clark. So let's say Kenny Clark isn't back. Right now he's a bubble guy. Guys that you know are going to be back. Quinnen Williams, Osi Odigizua. Overshown as a Raku, Deron Bland if his foot works, and Siobhan Ravel.
Yeah, Ravel's going to be there. You heard Parker talking about him, and that he was looking into him when he was there at Philadelphia. So they were looking at this guy as well. So he's impressed with him. But again, he just didn't get an opportunity to play much last year. So you really don't know who you've got. There's talk. You mentioned Kenny Clark. We don't know if he'll be back. We don't know if Jadeveon Clowney will be back.
Sure.
And there's some other guys.
Or Donovan Wilson, who's a free agent. So there could be 3 more.
I've even seen some reports that Sam Williams might be gone.
Yeah.
So it's going to shuffle. This deck is going to shuffle, that's for sure. And it's going to be interesting to see how they replace those that are no longer there.
But again, though, I mean, the point there is, what they finished with last year, you're likely to have about half of brand new starters. Because I don't know, other than maybe Jay Toya, was there a backup? Perion Winfrey spoke of highly a lot last year. Could one of those guys emerge and become a starter? But I doubt it. So 5, 6 new starters on defense plus depth guys. That's where you look at the draft, and I again, 2 first-round picks, linebacker, and then somebody in the secondary. I thought one of the funnier things that Christian Parker said, and it was just the way he said it, is being a defensive coordinator, paying attention to all the groups. He's going to have to fight the magnetic force that draws him to the defensive backs.
Yes.
Right? I'm hoping he doesn't fight that, because that was one of the areas they need the most help.
Well, they certainly do, and you no longer have a Trayvon Diggs, which I'm not sure that that's a big loss. But Deron Bland, you mentioned him. I mean, is he going to be healthy? So that's a position that they're really going to need to address. And so it's good that Christian Parker's coming in. It's good that he's worked with defensive backs. That's a place that certainly the Cowboys need, I would say perhaps the most help at is in that defensive backfield. So we'll see how he addresses that. And his experience coaching that position, I think, will be a big help.
But I think we all know that the Cowboys struggled last year at all three levels, the front, the linebackers, and the secondary. I mean, it was all bad. Now, they did talk about, and it's true, when Quentin Williams showed up, they did get a little bit better. And there was that 3-game stretch where you thought they had turned things around. The 3 games that gave you so much hope. But even then, stopping the run helps put pressure on the quarterback. They've got to stop the run. And for a guy known as a defensive back coach, hearing him talk about a focus on stopping the run is refreshing. Kind of like hearing a guy that you know that likes to throw the ball around talk about the importance of running the football as an offensive coordinator. At least he's thinking, yeah, we got to stop the run. We got to stop the run.
Yes, you have to. I mean, we talk about it all the time. How much better is Dak Prescott when he's got a running back that he can rely on? And that's not just Dak Prescott. That's any quarterback. You got a running game to lean on. You're going to be a better quarterback because you're going to have more time. Your receivers are going to get open, and it just all works hand in hand. So you got to stop the run. If you can stop the run, you're going to put pressure on that offense that you're playing against. So, when you look at it, and I noticed, Christian Parker early in that press conference was talking about numbers that it might as well have been in Russian as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about schemes and everything else. And it's really kind of an easy game, isn't it? You stop the run, you stop the pass, you sack the quarterback, you win. Easy.
I mean, if you score one more point than the other guy, you're likely going to win the game.
Wow. It's an easy game, is it not?
It really is. And again, be multiple, confident.
Yeah.
I know there's some of you out there that got really excited to hear that he's got a shoe room.
Rob Thompson. Yeah.
But it'll be interesting. But the other part of that, too, the young, relatable part with these guys and the way they put the staff together. And again, he didn't watch the Hard Knocks, but he did watch the series on Jerry Jones. He got to know who he's working for. All right, let me watch. Let me do some homework here.
Yeah, if he didn't know already. Is there anybody that doesn't know Jerry Jones?
It is interesting. I think everybody knows who Jerry Jones is, but how deep do you know Jerry Jones and his story and all the different things? Like, if you're going to work for that guy, you're interviewing for him, wouldn't you watch? I wouldn't just go to the Wikipedia page.
No, I'd of course you'd want to know everything about it. He didn't watch Hard Knocks, and who can blame him for that?
True.
It sucks. So, I mean, I like him better already.
And the one that, if you go with what's the term? If you believe the way it went down today and the way Schottenheimer is, why not? And it apparently hasn't come up in any of their Zoom calls. Had you met him before? Yep. At a restaurant in Denver.
Yeah.
Shook his hand.
Mm-hmm.
So you think about those young upcoming coaches meeting anybody, and you can almost picture it. Young assistant meets Schottenheimer. Schottenheimer shakes his hand and moves on, doesn't even know who he is. Now, did put him in his notebook because he kept hearing the name, but Schottenheimer acted like he had not heard that story or had zero recollection of that meeting. But Christian Parker did.
He did. That's important, I think. At least he's got a good memory. Yeah. I wouldn't have remembered that dinner.
Well, Blitz says because you would have been drunk.
Yeah, well.
And maybe Shotty had a couple of
he might
shotties
have
that
been
night.
drunk too.
You know, fancy-ass steakhouse in Denver.
Exactly right.
But that what that tells me, though, is when you've got those young, driven coaches that get in that networking situation and they want to meet everybody they can and they can remember that interaction, not everybody takes advantage of those kinds of situations. It sounds like Christian Parker did. Like I said, he can win a press conference. Now, there's been a lot of press conferences where people have lost, and you go, what the hell was that?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't do that today. It was a good start.
Well, and I think you see why the Cowboys like him. He's an impressive young coach, and so says all the right things. Looks like he's got some good ideas as well. So we'll see. Long way to go when it comes to the Cowboys and that defense, but we'll see. Tell you what, there's not a long way to go, though, right now. If you want to go see Zach Bryan inside the Alamo Dome, Saturday, March 21st, we're going to send you to the show to see one of country music's biggest stars. And guess what? We're going to give you the tickets. We'll buy them for you or give them to you. However that works, I'm not sure. Look, if you don't win the tickets today, you can always get them at ZachBryan.com. 2 tickets to go see Zach Bryan to caller number what?
9.
Caller number 9, 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Caller number 9, you're going to go see Zach Bryan live at the Alamo Dome Saturday, March 21st. This is The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The NBA resumes tomorrow. Spurs with that home game up in Austin. But as we get ready for the stretch run, you want to get in on all the action, make picks, and win money? You can right now in Texas on Underdog, and it's fun to play and easy. You look at projected stats and decide, make your picks if your favorite players are going to go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, steals, assists. With Wemby, I'm always looking at blocks as well. Get your picks right. You can win up to 5,000 times your cash. So download the Underdog app today. Use promo code STAR to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Promo code STAR at Underdog. Make picks, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Texas. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-MY-RESET or visit ncpgambling.org.
You're riding with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6. KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com.
When snack time calls, Pork Rinds answers. Be your own crunch time hero with Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Skip the chip and go straight for the ultimate crunch that's low carb, high protein, and loaded with bold flavor. We're talking sweet barbecue or hot honey. Yeah, it's that good. Snack smarter, crunch harder. Stock up on Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at H-E-B or head to porkrinds.com. Make Southern Recipe your crunch time hero.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text AREA to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 42424. That's AREA to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Febreze. New Febreze Air Mist has 50% more odor fighters and up to 30% more fragrance than the old formula. So now you can take on 100% more stinky odors, like sweaty gym bags, greasy cooking smells, and the after effects of the dog rolling around in something. Just spray, and new Febreze Air instantly restores just clean freshness. Smell you later, odor. Breathe happy Febreze. La, 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 la.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, save up to $700, plus get a free adjustable base with select Sealy Posturepedic mattresses. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Garrett with Arasti. If you're tired of pain slowing you down from a recent injury or something that's been nagging you for years, we can help. At Arasti, we've earned the trust of over 8,000 physicians by delivering fast, lasting pain relief without painkillers or surgery. Our hands-on approach targets the root cause of pain, and most patients see results in just one visit. No referral needed, and it's covered by most insurance plans. So don't wait. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti. We fix pain fast.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
San Antonio Spurs have a new big man. His name is Mason Plumlee. They signed him to a 10-day contract. 13-year NBA veteran, averaging 8 points, 7 boards, and 2.5 assists per game throughout his career. Las Vegas Raiders are set to interview Vikings offensive assistant coordinator Jordan Traylor for their quarterbacks coach position. Jordan, of course, is the son of UTSA head coach Jeff Traylor.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Rolling on a hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day.
Happy hump day, everybody.
I love that camel.
You know, I really do. It's amazing. Oh, what's his name? Clarence?
Caleb.
Clark. Happy to have you along
I
on this
love
hump
that
day.
thing that I don't know its name to.
Happy hump day, everybody. Glad you're with us today. On this Wednesday afternoon, we appreciate it. I'm Joe Reinagel. He is Jason Minix.
Yeah, I'm glad you remembered my name.
Yeah. Clarence. Clark. Caleb. It's another good C name. Charlie.
Caden?
Chuck.
The kid that works for us, Caden, is he with a C or a K?
K.
K, huh?
Could be a C.
Yeah.
Could be.
Could be.
Carlin.
Sure. There's a lot of good C.
Chris. I think it's probably the most obvious.
Yeah, but Chris and Camel, yeah. I like Clarence, though. Clarence would have been a better name for that donkey.
Not. It's a camel, not a donkey.
There's only one donkey, and he's sitting in studio.
Yeah. Minix, what, you let him talk to you like that?
I think he was talking about you,
You
sir.
sure?
Yes.
Oh. Good to see you, Pledge. Pledge's all dressed up, man. He looks like a suit today.
He's doing valet at the airport after work.
Is that what he's doing?
Yeah.
Is he going to park our car?
I hope.
I'm your personal driver.
Nice.
Exactly.
Nice. That's beautiful.
And to give you a part-time gig over there at CTA.
He did. I need to
You're
make some
driving
extra
people
money.
now? Absolutely.
Can you imagine getting in a van or a limo and seeing Pledge driving? I don't know.
Actually, yeah, it couldn't happen because most of those guys, when you don't really know they're there, which is the idea.
That's
right.
Pledge
would be all up in somebody's
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah.
The problem is, too, those are usually loaded limos.
Not usually.
Usually, yes, they're very, very nice.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Always.
No limo to the airport today, but we will be headed there shortly.
Slacker.
To the the company wouldn't pay for a limo, So
In
what
fact,
are we going to
we've
do?
got to take the other private jet named Southwest Airlines.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, So this
Last
is my
weekend's trip was a little bit smoother, I bet.
Yeah. No encore on the private jet this week.
Wow.
You
we
see the
could
play
call
on words there.
Could we call Eric real quick?
At
say,
Encore
hey?
Jet and say, hey?
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose we could.
We need to take off here,
Can you fuel up
certain
the
time.
plane?
Yeah, can you fuel it up and get those pilots ready? And here we go. No, it's I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, this is my first experience with Southwest Airlines with the assigned seats. The last trip I took was right before they changed over, so it's going to be a first for me.
Here's the what's the word I'm looking for? It's a bleep show. If your boarding group is not 1, 2, or 3, or it depends on where your seat is. The biggest problem is the overhead bin space. So you might have row 4, but boarding group 5, which makes no sense. So you get the row 4 or 5, and you can't put your stuff up, which is dumb. Like you're in row what, 12?
12.
And your boarding group 17.
It's way the hell out there. But so I don't need an overhead bin, so I'm fine with it. But the problem is, and I've never understood that, whether it's Southwest or any other airline, why don't the people that sit in the back of the plane get on first?
I agree.
I mean, I don't get that. Now, if you have a first class section, I get that people. But if you're assigned seats in the back, why are you not on first?
There's a rush to get on the plane, so you could sit there and do nothing.
I don't.
But
get
you get situated, you get your Wi-Fi going. I don't know. I'm with you. Board from the back of the plane.
Yes.
Right.
It makes no sense.
Just like when you land, you depart from the front of the plane.
Yeah, absolutely correct.
Could you imagine if they were like, all right, those in the back of the plane, you get off first? You would have an aneurysm.
Well, of course.
Because you're the first to stand up.
And it wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, I wouldn't let them by.
Yeah.
Screw you.
Uh-huh.
You're going, dude, I got to stand up. I got bad knees, man. Come on. You got to stand up a little.
Well, if you got bad knees, then you go up to the little desk and you say, I got bad knees. I need to get on first because this boarding pass group 7 thing is going to be stupid.
Maybe that is, but I know I've got a seat, so it's not like I'm a C40.
But if you didn't carry a fire extinguisher as a hairspray bottle and you were carrying your luggage on, you would literally be screwed tonight because you might be in 12, but your baggage might be at 23, and so when you land, you either have to fight the crowd to get back there or get everybody to pass your bag up, or like what they did to Rob Thompson in San Francisco, made him wait.
Yeah.
Until everybody was off the plane to go get his stuff in the back of the bin because he had like row 6.
Well, what I've noticed about Southwest Airlines, they're just like every other airline now. They're going to nickel and dime you for everything. Because if I don't like my boarding position, I can pay $30 and get a better boarding position. If I don't like my seat, guess what? I can pay whatever the cost is to move up.
Yep.
And so if you want a better seat, you got to pay for it now and everything.
But wait till they start charging for bin space. That's next.
I
right?
wouldn't be surprised.
You want the bin space right above? Boom. But United does that.
Well, so does do all of them. Oh, charge for bin space?
Well, I was on a United flight and I bought whatever cheap ticket, and it was just a quick overnight trip, and it wouldn't let me check in, and I don't fly United a lot, so I was like, it wouldn't let me check in. They had to verify that I didn't have any luggage that wouldn't fit under the seat because my seat did not qualify for bin space. No, it was
hilarious.
It was no big deal, but I didn't know that I just bought a cheap seat and didn't pay for any of the upgrades. But it was overnight, so, it was a duffel bag, no big deal. But had I shown up, they would have charged me for the bin space.
That's incredible.
Yep.
Well, some of them charge you
or
just
made me check the bag.
To breathe these days, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's nuts.
Look, man, I still get my 2 free drinks tonight. I'm ready to rock and roll.
Well, you get 2 free?
Well, this is what it says on my boarding pass.
Well, you only want one, don't you? No. I'm good. You have two. Don't worry about it, Minix. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Karma is a female dog.
I don't know what you speak of.
Well,
man.
you're going up to the tables, and if you're not in a giving mood, I mean, the gambling gods are going to say, "Well, Minix,
well, it's not what you said. You didn't say, "Will I buy you a drink with my free drink coupons?" You said, "Do I only want one?"
I shouldn't.
That's a dumb question.
I shouldn't have had to have asked. I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, it's not like we're sitting beside each other.
Well, that's true.
I got that extra leg room.
And you need it.
I need it. All of it. So I'm not sitting with you in row 12 or whatever.
I'm all good. I'm fine. I can buy my own drinks.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be good. Sometimes though, and I hope they're not listening. They don't charge you for drinks. Yeah, I get lucky sometimes where you buy a couple drinks and they just let it go.
Sometimes
they do that.
Yeah.
I like it when they do that.
Me too.
Well,
like I only have two. Right?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Me neither.
No clue.
Uh-huh.
No clue. Hey, did you see what happened last night in the UCLA basketball game?
I saw the highlights this morning.
I don't think I've ever seen anything else like that, quite frankly.
A coach ejecting his own player?
Coach ejecting his own player and then acting like an ass after the game.
Yeah.
Yes, a complete ass. So we'll let you hear, and you can define ass in your own way, okay, when we return here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Hey, let me tell you about my Kinetico Quality Water Softener. Actually, I don't want to tell you about it. I want to brag a little bit. And it's just it's something you have to brag about. When you have one of these in your house, you can't help but brag about it because, it just feels good. The shower feels great. Your clothes, the dishes out of the dishwasher, all of that stuff is just absolutely fantastic. It is head and shoulders better than any water softener I've ever had. And I've lived in other houses that have water softeners, but they don't compare. Not even close to what I have now in my Kinetico Quality Water Softener. I love this thing. It makes a difference, and it makes a difference right away. You need to treat yourself. All their products are made in America. They've been serving San Antonio and South Texas for over 50 years, and you don't plug it in. So no drain on your electric bill, but it does provide soft water 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And, they still got this deal going on. If you've been putting this off, don't put it off any longer. Why not get that free reverse osmosis drinking station that they'll install right there at your kitchen sink? Bottled water right there at your kitchen sink. It's fantastic. Plus, free money. 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. You don't want to wait. Get this started today. 656-PURE, 656-7873, or you can get them online at KineticoSA.com. And you know the jingle, sing it with me. It's the last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE, Kinetico.
Hi, everybody. It's Joe Reinagel. Now is a great time of year to get your roof inspected and ready for our crazy spring weather. Be it hot, cold, rain, or hail. Who knows what Mother Nature has in store for us this year? Call Stevens Roofing at 210-785-0994. Your roof protects your home and your family. A quality roof overhead means comfort, confidence, and certainly peace of mind. Now is the time to get your roof ready for spring. Call Stevens Roofing at 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
The Gomez Law Firm is proud to be San Antonio's trusted personal injury law firm for the past 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us. Your firm has been fighting for the people of San Antonio since 1973. That's incredible.
There are not a lot of businesses that stick around for even 50 years, let alone personal injury law firms.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then turn to the law firm that will fight for you. Visit joegomezlaw.com.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
Hormones can affect everything. Bad skin, bad hair, low energy, poor sleep, brain fogginess, libido, and weight gain. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we take a functional approach to your hormone problems. Eating right and exercise will not be beneficial without optimal hormone function. This goes for men and women. We do state-of-the-art testing to get to the root of your hormone issues and help you get well and stay well. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. We can help. 210-468-1891.
Hi,
Hey, Flo here to say that Progressive knows that life can change quickly, so it's good to have flexible coverage.
Oh, like when I have to take my ex off my policy.
Oh, sorry. But yes, we can do that.
And can you send them a message and tell them that they have trust issues that they need to work on?
We don't really get in the middle of these conflicts.
Also, can you let them know that I was faking interest in his band and it's probably time to grow up?
I'm not going to do it. Just know that with Progressive, you can easily make changes to your auto insurance because we know life changes.
Also, I'm staying in touch with his mom because she's absolutely lovely.
Bad idea.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Furnished by IntelliBrands. Whether because of discomfort, lack of mobility, your lifestyle, or occupation, you sit inactively way too many hours a day. Get an Ellipse, the premium quality automatic seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation without physical strain or impact. Improve your flexibility and balance. Strengthen and tone your legs.
My joints feel better, my knees feel better, my back feels better, and it makes me feel stronger too.
My circulation is moving. I'm burning calories, and it makes me feel energetic.
It's so quiet that none of my coworkers even know I'm using it.
Call now and order Ellipse, the seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation. And for a limited time, get a free upgrade to our deluxe bundle with a faster motor, sport mat, and wireless remote. Call 800-555-1212. That's 800-555-1212. 800-555-1212 now. These statements and products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Thursday on the Morning Huddle, we are live from the MGM, getting you ready for Mario Barrios and Ryan Garcia.
NBA kicks it up again. Spurs are taking on Phoenix. We'll talk about what they got to do to close out this season and so much more. It's going to be a party, Vegas style. Get here early. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Oh, my goodness. Minix sending me pictures of guys sitting on the pot.
Did you watch the video?
I haven't watched the video.
Watch play on the video. I don't know if it's real or some AI BS because you never know on Instagram anymore. But the dude's on the pot and a raccoon comes through the window and they're both freaked out. It's funny as hell.
Yeah, it is funny as hell. And if he was having trouble pooping before, the raccoon helped get things moving. I promise you that. That's hilarious, dude. Oh, my goodness.
Happy hump day.
Yes, happy. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Why I sent it.
Yeah.
You just saw a dude sitting there and we're like,
oh, yeah.
Why would you send me that?
Why the hell are you sending me that?
Well, watch the video.
There you go.
Watch the video. It's kind of like watching the video of what happened last night during the UCLA-Michigan State game. Let's hear the play-by-play cut first when he ejects his own player.
Long cross-court pass. We'll get a free run for Cooper. He gets fouled hard from behind by Jamerson, and Cooper gets right in Jamerson's face because of the hard foul. Jamerson stood his ground. Now remember, Jamerson, a student here at Michigan State. Mick Cronin says, I want you out.
Yeah, Mick is sending
wow.
He's sending him to the locker room because Cooper is way out there, right? You don't want to hurt anybody this late in the game. Cooper is way out there for a dunk. You don't want to be dirty. You know what I mean?
Don't want to be dirty.
No.
Yeah, wow, no. And, I kept watching the foul over and over again. And it was a hard foul, and he hit the guy in the head, but I don't think there was an intention there of hurting this guy.
Well, I think as Cronin pointed out, look at the scoreboard, dude. He ejected his own player.
That was funny as hell. And the player was looking at him like, what?
Yeah.
Really?
True toughness is in how you compete and how you go to work every day. Steve's a good kid. He made a bad decision. If you want to be a tough guy, you need to do it during the game for a block out, for a rebound. So I was thoroughly disappointed. Guy was defenseless in the air. I know Steve was trying to block the shot, but the game's a 25-point game. You don't do that. So.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Situational awareness.
Sure, and they got their ass kicked, by the way.
Yeah.
UCLA did.
Well, and obviously the coach wasn't very happy with his own teams. And then a reporter asked him about that Michigan State student section.
What was your thoughts on the student section chanting Booker's name?
I could give a rat's ass about the other team's student section.
I just meant the overall the way they.
I would like to give you a kudos for the worst question I've ever been asked.
Did you like?
You should take it.
The preparation of the.
Do you really think I care about the other team's
No, I don't.
student
I don't
section?
think you care about the other.
Are you raising your voice at me?
No, I'm just.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Come on, dude.
Not raising.
Come on, yes, you are. Everybody's standing here listening to you. Everybody, this is on camera. They can hear you. I answered the question. I could give a rat's ass about the other team's student section. I coach UCLA. I don't care about Michigan State students. I mean, who cares?
Who cares? And he really acted like a jackass there. I mean, honestly. Maybe the guy shouldn't have kept going, the reporter, but it's like, you got to ask about the student section, but after he said he didn't give a rat's ass, I might have left it alone.
Well, I mean, did the reporter raise his voice?
No.
I mean, maybe a little, but not in a confrontational way, but, dude, answer my question.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, if you don't want to answer it, that's fine. I mean, but then he tells the guy it's the dumbest question he's ever been asked.
Yeah.
I doubt that.
Yeah.
But, you don't have to be a donkey about it. Goodness gracious.
Yeah. Interesting night last night. I mean, as we get ready for March Madness.
Yes.
Arizona State beat Texas Tech last night.
Uh-huh.
Texas Tech lost one of their best players for the year, ACL. Done. And that Iowa State-Houston game. Stretch run, almost tournament time. We're all going to become college basketball experts in the next 30 days.
Well, I don't know about experts, but you got to study up for sure, getting ready for the tournaments. Conference tournaments ought to be getting started here pretty quick, and then obviously March Madness coming up.
Yep, right around the corner, because right now we're all becoming experts at Winter Olympics. And
are we?
No. Did you see that other video I sent you?
Oh, yeah, about the bubble?
I mean, there are reasons to watch the Winter Olympics.
Uh-huh.
You just got to kind of luck into them.
Now, what country was that particular woman from?
Earth. No,
I mean, she wasn't from the United States, but
it doesn't matter.
There was.
You just watch that video over and over and over again.
I think was she the skeleton thing or
yes.
whatever?
It's Italy.
Yes.
Italy.
Yes, and it was a bouncy ride, and apparently they had butt cam going.
No.
Quickly becoming my favorite sport.
As they should have.
That and bobsled.
Wow. Yeah, that was very shiny. Did you see the other one I sent you? A dog.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, is that crazy?
Downhill skiing has gone to the dogs.
He wants to enjoy the finish as well. Advantage of Croatia across the line. Advantage.
Racing to the line there. The crowd clearly enjoying this.
The biggest cheer of the day is not for any of the skiers so far. Well, that's true speed. Down the finishing straight. The magnificence of the local wildlife. Domesticated. Photo finish.
Oh. Local wildlife. Domesticated?
Dude. That's a dog.
A dog.
A Czechoslovakian wolf dog. But honestly, when I saw the video, I thought it was like a wild animal that had gotten onto the course. Like, oh, this could be interesting.
Well, it's like the dog came out of nowhere. I mean, it was two ladies, I think, downhill skiing or whatever they were doing, and this dog just starts chasing them. And
it's a course. It looks fun. Let's go play.
Well, I'm guessing that's what the dog was thinking.
But, I mean, it's a wolf dog. It looks like it's not domesticated.
Well, it looks like a German Shepherd, kind of.
If you've never seen a German Shepherd before.
I've seen a German Shepherd. I'm just saying it looks like a German Shepherd. All smiley and just wants to play.
Just out there playing.
Yeah.
But the photos, because he did come down the course, and so they got the photo finish picture.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. Good old boy gets a gold medal.
So have you been watching any of the Olympics?
Hockey.
Well, hockey in the United States playing right now, aren't they?
I don't know because Pledge's TV's not working.
I'm pretty sure they are. I don't know what the score is, but I think they're playing Sweden. I don't know how good Sweden is. Don't know how good the United States is, quite frankly.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those things. One other real quick thing, because loyal listener Ben Briseno has sent this in every social media platform to make Joe Reinagel's head explode. But there are some things about this that, all right, I'm interested. I'm intrigued. Brett McMurphy has tweeted out from his On3 account his way too early playoff prediction for 2026. He's got the UTSA Roadrunners in as the 12 seed. I'm down with that.
That's great.
Except for they would play the Texas Longhorns in the first round of the playoffs, Texas being the 5 seed. Hey, Aggies, they've got you guys as the 10th seed. Texas Tech as the 6th seed. Man, a lot of Lone Star reputation.
So they have the Aggies playing Indiana. This is who he has playing in the first round. Tech would play OU. Oregon would take on, is that
Utah.
Utah.
I know these are some new logos. And then that other one down there at 11 is Oklahoma.
So here's what Ben is talking about by making my head explode. He's got Notre Dame number 1. Not only number 1, but as the 2026 national champion.
They're going to be undefeated when they finish the season.
Well, they don't play anybody first and foremost. They play absolutely nobody. And I want to hear all of you New England Patriots haters, when Notre Dame gets into the tournament, they're the number 1 seed. I want to hear how they didn't play anybody. Please remind me of that when we get to that point, if this happens, and I don't think it will happen.
No, remember the strength of schedule thing. They're all playing teams that play. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, well, it is for Notre Dame because they shouldn't be there. It's irritating.
Head exploding in 3, 2. He's simmering now. Thinking about it.
I like Brett McMurphy too, and he's a solid guy. But he must have
talk to me
something up his behind.
Wow,
like a little Irishman.
Try to shove it up their ass.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know. Come on,
a little Irishman.
It's way too early.
Well, it is.
To
although
be doing this,
I mean, okay, let's not focus on Notre Dame. You got UTSA making the playoffs next year.
I hope he's right about that.
I hope he's right about that.
I do too.
But the unfortunate part, and this is why I think there needs to be a group of playoff and the other playoff, because obviously they're not going past that round, right? Would love to see Jeff Traylor get this thing turned around and get one of those playoff spots, and what that would do for UTSA and the program and all of that. But, and also Texas being a playoff team, and Texas A&M being a playoff team, and Texas Tech with Cody Campbell's money being a playoff team.
Well, I hope they all are. Honestly do. I hope they all are, and that would be great. So I hope he's right about all of the other stuff except for Notre Dame. Then I'll be a happy camper.
Yeah, I believe Sweden just tied up USA in men's hockey. It's now 1-1.
They did.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Jeff Traylor, his son is interviewing for the Raiders job.
Quarterback's coach. Yeah. Well, and I'm assuming that's a better deal because he's with Minnesota now, and he's the assistant offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
So you go from that to quarterback's coach.
Yeah, but some of this, I mean, if you're the quarterback's coach, is that a better job than being the assistant OC? I don't know what the assistant OC does. Do you make copies and get coffee, or your input as the quarterback's coach? But also his relationship with Kubiak, I think, is a big part of him wanting to get over there.
And if he gets that job, think about it. He's going to work with Fernando Mendoza, most likely, right out of the gate. So props to him. Look, I hope he gets it. And I think he's up and coming. I mean, I really do. I think we're hear a lot about Jeff's son over the next few years as he rises up the ranks.
Jeff, and I don't know, let's give probably more credit to Carrie. Mrs. Traylor.
Yes.
Their kids are phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, his other son's a big-time news correspondent, political reporter, and one's rising in the ranks in the NFL. That's just pretty good stuff.
Wow,
Parents, you're thrilled.
Absolutely.
All those kids off the payroll. And doing well on their own.
Absolutely.
That's good stuff.
It is.
Real quick, we've got John McClain coming up today. We're doing things a little different because tomorrow we'll be in Vegas. The Judson Rockets have named a new head coach. Vernon Hughes was at Mesquite Horn. Very odd hire for Judson because, from what I could tell, this dude has no ties to Judson.
That is unusual.
Or to San Antonio.
That is unusual. There's no doubt about it. Very unusual.
But a well-regarded coach, reading about him in Dave Campbell's Texas Football, but I don't find any connection to Judson. That's very unusual for them to go outside of the family.
Absolutely it is. So we'll see how that works out for him. You got Judson doing that. You got Jerry Jones letting Brian Schottenheimer hire people.
I know, and John McClain talking about walking naked in Houston.
Holy cow.
Jeez.
Please don't trade C.J. Stroud. I'm begging you, Houston. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, we are going to talk to – it is a little bit different today. We are going to talk to the General John McClain because, as Jason Minnick mentioned, we are going to be in Vegas tomorrow getting you ready for Fight Night at the MGM Grand. So make plans to join us there. Of course, we'll start at 2 o'clock. And who knows what we're going to have. Interviews and all kinds of stuff. But next, it is the General here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Let me tell you, though, if you're looking for a place to go watch that fight on Saturday night, let me recommend Novo Brewery. All right? It is the newest sports watching destination. And I want to tell you where this place is. It is attached to North Star Mall. They are open late. They're not married to the mall hours. So they're open late. They've got their own entrance. So you don't have to go through the mall. You just park your car. They've got their own entrance, and you are in there. 8 massive LED screens, over 80 feet of LED video walls. They've got 60 craft beers on tap. They've got kombucha on draft. Plus, they've got all kinds of, lack of a better word, regular beer. So you can have whatever you want, and they have a full bar. So it's not a brewery as you might think of a brewery. It is a full bar, full restaurant. The food is fantastic. It is a huge place, and there's not a bad seat in the house. So whether it's boxing this Saturday, whether it's the Spurs game tomorrow night, Novo Brewery is the place to go. Get used to it. I promise you visit there once, you are going to go back. Novo Brewery. Go check them out, novobrew.com. That's N-O-V-O brew.com.
Ready to free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business empowers leaders with smart business buying tools, leaving time to focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future at amazonbusiness.com.
Even if you've given up on your New Year's resolutions, one health habit that's easy to keep is Active Liver from New Nordic. Active Liver protects your liver so you can enjoy life to the fullest. Online at Amazon, in stores at CVS, Walgreens, and now GNC.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Garrett with Rosti. If you're tired of pain slowing you down from a recent injury or something that's been nagging you for years, we can help. At Arasti, we've earned the trust of over 8,000 physicians by delivering fast, lasting pain relief without painkillers or surgery. Our hands-on approach targets the root cause of pain, and most patients see results in just one visit. No referral needed, and it's covered by most insurance plans. So don't wait. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti. We fix pain fast.
Meet Morgan Jones. Morgan is about to step into a world unknown to most, thanks to Progressive's Renters Insurance, a place of fresh linens and turn-down service. You see, Morgan temporarily vacated her apartment and has gone to a hotel because a pipe burst in her apartment. A pipe that made her sense of reality and apartment ceiling all come crashing down. Luckily, Morgan checked into Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is back. Monday, March 30th at the Golf Club of Texas. Get your slot now. $150 per person or $500 per foursome. The Spring Golf Classic, benefiting fitting animals at no-kill shelters across Texas, is presented by Flight by Yingling, sponsored in part by Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chunkla, PPL Motorhomes, and Ancira.com. The Spring Golf Classic, Monday, March 30th. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
Back here on the Blitz on a Wednesday afternoon, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagle. That young man over there is Jason Minix.
And I know it's a Wednesday. It's in the afternoon. The time isn't right, but we're heading to Vegas because we'll be on the Radio Road tomorrow for the Barrios-Ryan Garcia fight. So we have no idea what tomorrow's going to be like. But after a tweet from yesterday, we could not bump John McClain this week, so we moved him in case tomorrow wouldn't have worked out. So John McClain, the general, joining us now in the Buyers Barricades guest line. And John, we had a lot of fun with the tweet you had yesterday. I'm guessing your Twitter mentions are pretty insane.
Yeah, I don't pay any attention to any of that stuff, but I had the first day I saw Ryan Fitzpatrick say he was here and the Texans were ready to elevate Davis Mills. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? And then I started looking around all this stuff about they might listen to trade talk for Stroud. Well, somebody would offer him 2 number 1 picks, but you still wouldn't have a quarterback because it's a terrible quarterback draft after Fernando Mendoza. So I looked at one and saw it at 87,000 retweets. So I thought, let's see, what could I do? This was Tuesday morning, I think, and what can I do? And I started thinking how much attention it got back before the 2014 draft, where I said Texas didn't draft a quarterback, I would eat the Chronicle sports section, and they didn't. They drafted Jadeveon Clowney, and I did eat it, and so I had to come up with something like that, and this was what I came up with. That I first going to say run, then jog, and I'm like, no, I'm not. I said I will walk naked down Kirby Drive, the street that goes by NRG Stadium, if the Texans trade C.J. Stroud. Now, if there's anybody out there willing to do that, if they don't trade him, and I thought so, nobody is, of course, and it's gotten an unbelievable amount of attention. I've gotten several talk shows, podcasts, Zooms, and I tell all of them, I'll be happy to do your interview, but I want to promote a documentary. So like Bill Belichick not making a Hall of Fame, when that leaked out and people were calling me, and I said, sure, I'll be happy to talk about it, but I want to promote a documentary. So it's gotten a lot of attention, and I did look yesterday afternoon, or maybe it was last night, it was almost 300,000 just for that little one sentence. Now I'm thinking, what else could I come up with? But the bottom line is, he's not going to be traded. They're not interested in trading him. But anybody at this time of year, when you're interested in getting attention and clicks, throwing something out there like that, just so you're hearing, and not saying he's going to be traded, is very, very smart marketing.
Well, John, it's interesting now, and you say there's no way he's going to be traded, but do you think he's on a 1 year prove it? I mean, if C.J. Stroud has another year like he had this year, next year, are we looking at, I don't know, talking about letting this guy go somehow?
Absolutely not. It means they would have been at least in the second round of the playoffs again. He would have had a fourth consecutive playoff victory. And how many teams would like to have a quarterback that's been able to do that? Yes, the defense played great at Pittsburgh, but he did make some big throws. His bad game was at New England, and he had done nothing in the season to make us think he was capable of a horrific performance like that. He didn't fumble all year. Then he fumbled twice, lost twice at Pittsburgh, and he'd only had 8 interceptions all year. In the previous year, when they lost to Kansas City in the divisional round, he played really well. They lost by 8 to the Chiefs, so nobody saw it coming. And for one horrendous game, they're not going to get rid of a quarterback. Now, I wouldn't sign him to an extension. They'll sign Will Anderson Jr. to an extension because he deserves it, probably making him the highest paid defensive player in NFL history after finishing second to Myles Garrett for Defensive Player of the Year. But I would pick up the 5th-year option on Stroud, and then I would give him an extension unless he went downhill. And maybe this is the New England game is a sign that his career is going to go straight down the toilet. But I can't find anybody over on Kirby Drive that believes that. And they've been doing him an injustice because he didn't have a good offensive line. They improved that this year, but the sacks being reduced was a lot about him getting rid of the ball quicker, and they still don't have a good running game. So their whole off season about free agency and especially the draft should be about building a running game to take some pressure off him. Seattle led the NFL in ratio of runs to pass, and so you've got to have at least 1 or 2 running backs, and they've got a good one, Woody Marks, to come off the bench. That's why he was drafted, pressed into starting duty because Joe Mixon was on Pluto. And so they've got to get a running back, hopefully, in the draft. Their first 3 picks in the first 2 rounds should be offensive lineman, or running back, and then an offensive lineman. 2 offensive linemen and a running back.
Absolutely. John McClain joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star, threatening to walk naked down at Kirby Drive. I'm just alarmed that so many people are rooting for CJ now to get traded to see if you'll do that, because I did see a bunch of tweets where people pointed out that you were wrong. You on statements like that in the past. You mentioned 2014 when you had to eat the newspaper, but I've also seen a lot of the tweets resurfacing when you said they would not trade Deshaun Watson. And
I said that right after he demanded to be traded in February. That was before any of the civil suits were launched, but I did write it. I've been talking about that on the talk shows. I can't believe people haven't brought up the one in 2002 where I said bet the house that they'll lose by at least 20 to the Cowboys in the first game in franchise history.
Well, they didn't have Twitter then.
No, they didn't. Well, they could have sent letters.
MySpace.
And, so out of 49 years covering the NFL, I've missed big ones like that. But you know what? They've gotten a lot of attention.
Well, and that's really all that matters, right? A lot of attention. Let me ask you this, John, because you're talking about drafting an offensive lineman, running back, offensive lineman. What are the chances, and where do the Texans stand in the free agent market? And there's a couple of running backs out there that might fit in well there in Houston. Do they have the money available to go get one of those guys?
They will, because cap's going to go up $20, $25 million. They've got several contracts players need extending going into last year. That would clear up. I saw one projection they can clear up $78 million by extending players or cutting players like Joe Mixon, who would save $8.5 million, which they will do. And so that's not going to be an issue. The problem, I see fans, boy, they want guys who've been cut by other teams, guys who are rejects, guys who have been injured. The only one I would be interested in would be the most expensive, Breece Hall from the Jets. I wanted to draft him when he came out of Iowa State, and I watched him pound Baylor so many times. But the Jets are loaded with draft capital. Why would they get rid of their best offensive player? They won't. That's why they have to draft a running back. And Darian Price of Notre Dame, their backup running back, who averaged 6 yards a carry, that's the one I'd like to see him get in the second round.
John, as we visit with John McClain here talking Texans, because that defense is so stacked, and off the top of my head, they're not losing anybody. There's nobody there like, oh, man, they've got it. There's no priority. It's all really complete opposite of the Cowboys, where all the attention is fixed on the defense in Dallas. In Houston, they've got to do something to make that offense good.
Well, the only thing they have on defense is the position that they've done the most work on. They bring on all these tackles who have bounced around the NFL like pinballs, and they come in here, and the line coach, Rod Wright, and their defensive coordinator, Matt Burke, who is an old defensive line coach, they do a great job. Now, the three of us could coach Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. and just say, ball snap, get quarterback. But they rotate those tackles, and they lost 3 on injured reserve this year. Tommy Togiai, who had been cut by Cleveland, another move by the Browns to help the Texans. And Togiai worked his way up from third team to being a playmaker. And they've got him coming back, and he better start. So the 4 tackles whose contracts are up, they need to re-sign Sheldon Rankins and Tim Settle Jr. Tim Settle Jr. went out about midway through the season. Get those guys, and then they can look around for other guys that are not expensive, bring in there and coach them up. I see a lot of people having them take defensive tackles with their first pick, and I'm like, have you not paid attention to this roster? Have you not paid attention on what their weakness is on offense still? They know I'm not going to make any bets about walking naked down Kirby about that, but Nick Caserio, who's bombed out, drafting offensive linemen, as many as he's drafted, he's hit on Ariante Ursery, left tackle last year in the second round. But there's starters at the first game, left tackle Cam Robinson and left guard Laken Tomlinson. Those guys should never have been acquired because they got rid of both of them. You're thinking, how could they make those mistakes throughout the offseason? And they can't afford to keep making mistakes and have the lack of continuity that they have in the offensive line. They got to get some slobber knockers who can open holes for the running game.
Well, that's got to be a priority. I need to ask you, though, about Tank Dell, Nico Collins. There shouldn't be any problem with either one of those guys. Should there be as we approach the season?
Absolutely not on Nico. And Tank Dell's been working out like crazy. He had multiple surgeries on his leg. And, he's got bird legs. I don't know if that makes it easier or harder on a guy to come back. So much of his game is about hummingbird quickness, dodging and darting. With the miracles of modern medicine and rehab, they expect him to come back and be what he is before. So that's like having an extra high draft choice. And he and C.J. Stroud have a great relationship. He's a fan favorite. I can't wait to see him introduced in the starting lineup for the first home game next season, and the ovation he's going to get from the crowd because Tank Dell is such an exciting player. But until people see him on the field doing what he did before, they're going to hold your breath.
Well, that is true. Does that also kind of mean the Christian Kirk time in Houston is over?
He signed a 1-year deal, and I'm guessing with the second and third round picks last year, Jaden Higgins, who made the all-rookie team, and Jalen Noel, the slot receiver. I'd be surprised if he came back. He was on a 1-year deal. He was hurt a lot. He produced at the end. If he'd take close to the minimum, maybe. But in a best-case scenario, the top 4 receivers are going to be Collins, Dell, Noel, and Higgins. And those second-year guys usually make their biggest improvement.
It's going to be interesting to see. And, John, I don't know if when would this walk happen? if immediately after a trade was finalized, or I don't know, how soon could we get ready for this? Because I would imagine TV stations in Houston and San Antonio and everywhere else would want to be there.
A crowd out there like a championship parade.
I remember when the Oilers had rain and they couldn't practice, Doug Dawson, a guard, would go out on the practice field in his jock and run about 40 yards and then just slide. And he was in nothing but his jock, and all the TV stations would run it, and they would blur out his butt. So I'm guessing that's what the TVs would have to do here. But it'd be more than my butt.
Well, I mean, but also, I mean, in that wonderful Houston heat, you don't want to do that in the wintertime, John. Go for a walk naked down Kirby.
No.
Yeah, there's things I used to have had to worry about like that in the winter when I was younger, but I don't have to worry about that anymore.
The great John McClain on Twitter at McClain_on_NFL. John, you've mentioned your documentary that you've been working on. I've got it queued up, ready to go tonight on our flight to Las Vegas. Tell our listeners about this documentary.
The PVIL story, separate but equal. San Antonio plays a role just like all of the state of Texas does. It's out on MadDogEntertainment.tv, MadDogEntertainment.tv, about the Prairie View Interscholastic League, which operated independently of the all-white University Interscholastic League between 20 and 70. And we interviewed players, coaches, administrators. Our biggest disappointment was not getting San Antonio great running back Warren McVay. He was the greatest PVIL running back, and you guys looked for him. We looked for him. We all put out all points bulletins for him. Turned out he was with his sister in L.A., and he was dying, and he died. And I wish he'd have been alive so we could interview him, and he could have come to our premiere because he was the greatest, and then he integrated the University of Houston. And that was the one guy. There were several we couldn't get, but Warren McVay was the one we wanted the most.
Well, and knowing what all was going on to try to find Warren McVay, who, had incredible life story with the ups and the downs, but when he decided he didn't want to be found, he didn't want to be found. And then when we thought we had found him, about 3 or 4 days later, we found out that he had passed away about that same time, which was, I know for you guys working on that documentary, very disappointing.
It was very sad, very disappointing. We had you guys looking in San Antonio. We had Bill Yeoman's son looking for him here, plus a lot of his family and friends. But he had just kind of dropped off the face of the earth because of his illness. And I sure wish we'd have gotten him because he would have made it even better.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, good luck with the documentary, John.
Well, thank you very much, Joe. You guys have a great time in Las Vegas, and hope you win a lot of money while you're out there. And wish the best of luck to you, and I'll talk to you next week.
Appreciate it. The great John McClain on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com.
I don't know what he's talking about, Jason. I mean, we're going to work so damn much out there. We're not going to have time to gamble.
Work.
It's all about work.
So
work trip.
And it's West Coast time, which means our show is noon to 4.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then we start preparing for Friday's show.
Right away.
Immediately.
A short break for some peanut butter and crackers and maybe a little bit of water, and then it's right back to preparing for Friday's show.
Water? I don't know about that. Pledge has got a goofy look on his face, though, doesn't he? Like we're full of poop.
You should have heard him whining to John McClain. We could hear him through the glass.
I heard him say that.
John was like, do you get to go to Vegas? No, I never get to go anywhere. I don't go to Super Bowl, Cowboys camp, Rue Pub. They don't take me anywhere. And we're sure not going to take him to Vegas.
No, hell no.
We did bring him a sandwich today, though.
I absolutely did.
Station.
Yes, that was very kind.
Kid is eating well, that's for sure.
No doubt about it. No doubt. We got to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk a little Spurs basketball. Spurs getting ready to kick off the stretch run of the NBA season. They'll do that tomorrow night in Austin against the Phoenix Suns. We're talking about it when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast. Best way to do that? Call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text BAIL to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They are discreet and confidential and open 24/7, offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. So if you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online, mybestbailbonds.com.
You're locked on the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Hormones can affect everything. Bad skin, bad hair, low energy, poor sleep, brain fogginess, libido, and weight gain. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we take a functional approach to your hormone problems. Eating right and exercise will not be beneficial without optimal hormone function. This goes for men and women. We do state-of-the-art testing to get to the root of your hormone issues and help you get well and stay well. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. We can help. 210-468-1891.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Welcome to guided meditation. Close your eyes. You're at the beach. The seagulls are calling. You take out your iPhone 16e you got from Cricket and use Apple Intelligence to clean up that selfie you just took. It's a good one. You send it to your friends instantly with nationwide 5G because Cricket is on the AT&T network. They're totally jealous. Get iPhone 16e for $49.99 when you switch. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new line on the Supreme Unlimited plan. First service charge and tax due at sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is back. Round up your foursome, your work crew, your weekend golf buddies, even the ladies, and get ready for a fun, laid-back day at the Golf Club of Texas. Monday, March 30th. Lock in a team for just $500 for a foursome, or jump in solo for $150 per player and spend the day talking trash, crushing drives, and laughing your way around the course. This isn't a stuffy golf club tournament. It's golf the way it should be. The Spring Golf Classic benefits feeding animals at no-kill shelters across Texas, so you're having a great time for a great cause. Presented by Flight by Yingling and sponsored by Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Shun Club, PPL Motorhomes, Farms and Ancira.com. And when the last putt drops, the day is just getting started. Join us for the after party at the 90 Proof Bar at Lucky Ranch Road and Highway 90. Cold drinks, great food, and all the post-round storytelling you can handle. So pick your team, claim your spot, and tee up with San Antonio's Sports Star. Sign up your foursome now at sasportstar.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The San Antonio Spurs signed free agent big man Mason Plumlee to a 10-day contract. 13-year NBA veteran, he's averaged almost 8 points, 7 rebounds, and 2.5 assists per game throughout his career. Meanwhile, the Dallas Mavericks, their star Kyrie Irving, will miss the rest of the season. He continues to recover from knee surgery that he had last March. The Las Vegas Raiders are set to interview Vikings offensive assistant coordinator Jordan Traylor for quarterbacks coach. Jordan, of course, is the son of UTSA head coach Jeff Traylor. I'm Joe Reinagle for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Joe Reinagle.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
And we're back on a hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day.
Happy hump day, everybody. Hope you're having a great one, whatever you're doing, however you are doing it. Thanks for joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagle. He's Jason Minix. And, Jason, we're getting close. Getting close. We're headed to the airport, baby.
You know,
Vegas.
absolutely. It's a little getaway day. We will be heading to Vegas later tonight, tomorrow, both the Morning Huddle and the Blitz from MGM as we get ready for the Mario Barrios, Ryan Garcia fight, world title fight on DAZN coming up Saturday night, which is going to be incredible. But fun to have an experience like this with a San Antonio fighter involved. I can't wait to get to Las Vegas. Which,
No doubt.
I always can't wait to get to Las Vegas.
Well,
But
there's that, right? But, I mean, this is a fight that's getting a lot of attention. I mean, it really is. Both of these guys, certainly Barrios can use a win.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to get that done, but he's up against a fighter that can give him some trouble.
And we expect to have both on over the next couple of days. Haven't gotten a complete run of schedule. I know we got a fancy party to go to tonight.
What?
But overall, big fight. When I was in Vegas last weekend, just the domination of advertising for this fight at T-Mobile. I knew it was a big fight. This is bigger than I was expecting it to be, and just thrilled for Mario Barrios and, well, us, because we will be out there, and then that also means because we'll be in a state where there's legal gambling, we can put some money on the Spurs because they have a home game tomorrow in Austin. Are we still getting mad at them playing in Austin, or is that kind of past? I've talked to a couple of people that are, well, mixed on it.
I don't care anymore. It doesn't bother me because with the whole Project Marvel thing coming up now, and that looks like it's going to move forward, Spurs aren't going to go anywhere. As long as that thing is done and approved and they get started with, the Spurs aren't going to go anywhere. And we talked about this, Jason. If we didn't do it, I guarantee you there'd be calls from Austin, from Vegas, from Nashville, from wherever trying to court the Spurs. But as long as that's moving forward, they can play in Austin, they can play in Corpus Christi, they can play in El Paso. I don't care.
Well, I do hate that they're home games that are being played up there, but I'm with you. With Project Marvel moving forward, the threat that Austin was isn't the same.
Right.
And even when there was that threat, I totally understand what the San Antonio Spurs are doing in trying to grow their footprint. And quite frankly, we've had similar discussions, say, with the Houston Texans. When the Texans first started, they used to do a ton of outreach in San Antonio and in Austin.
Yeah.
And then they realized they needed to own Harris County first. and now that they're good again, maybe they're going to get back out to doing that kind of outreach to try to grow their fan base. And in this world of streaming television and all the different apps and where you can watch, 10 years ago, Austin got the Dallas Mavericks on Fox Southwest or whatever it was then, right?
Right.
Well, now people in Austin can watch the Spurs whenever they want. So I get what they're doing and why they're doing it. And I think the threat of, Austin's trying to steal our team, that's gone.
It's gone, and so I'm not worried about it. I'm really not worried about it. What I am looking forward to, though, Jason, is even though the Suns game is in at the Moody Center in Austin, it's going to be a good game. I mean, the Suns have pretty much owned the Spurs this year. I think they won both games that they've played thus far. So the Spurs need to get over on that. But the schedule is going to be a lot of fun. They got a couple of games, not back-to-back, but pretty close together with the hottest team in the Eastern Conference in the Detroit Pistons. That comes up on Monday in Detroit.
I mean, you look at the way the Spurs are playing. You know, going into the All-Star break, doing what they needed to do, closing the gap on Oklahoma City. While SGA is out, the Spurs have taken full advantage of what's going on with the Thunder. And they're a great story. You know, All-Star Weekend, it felt like they were the story, the surprise story, although maybe it's the team they're playing tomorrow night that actually is. That, according to ESPN radio host Jonathan Zaslow.
I wouldn't call the Spurs a fun story. You
What?
know, like
Why not?
I think the Phoenix Suns and what they're doing after getting rid of Kevin Durant, and they're better this year than they were last. Like, that's a fun story. I would say the Boston Celtics have been a fun story because they're number 2 in the Eastern Conference, and who would have thought that with Jason Tatum out? San Antonio, they're second best record in the Western Conference, and they're doing it behind a player who they drafted number 1 overall and whose nickname is the Alien and has been every bit the Alien. This is, maybe it's ahead of schedule, but fun story? No. This is what they're supposed to be.
Let's see, who is this guy? What a blowhard this guy is.
Wow, come on.
Are you kidding me? This is what they're supposed to be? Who said?
You know,
are you kidding me? They've got to be, if not the youngest, one of the youngest teams in the NBA. What they are doing ahead of schedule is spectacular. How can you not say this is not a fun story?
Well, when you can't tell me you're ahead of schedule, and in the same 37 seconds to be exact, the same clip, tell me you're ahead of schedule, but right where you're supposed to be.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
makes no sense.
If this were 2 years from now, or even next year, I think next year is when we all thought they would be there, right? This year, let's go back. We were 40-something, 41, 42 wins, maybe, play in or play off, where I remember we were talking about, are they really one of the top 6? And you go through those teams, and I would not be surprised as we sit right now, the way the Spurs are playing, that they don't finish the regular season as the 1 seed. And quite frankly, with a 3.5-game lead on Denver for the 2 seed, if they fell back, something really bad has happened, right? So they are ahead of schedule, and they are a fun team, and that makes it a fun story. Not to mention, you've got Wemby, you got De'Aaron Fox, you've got Steph Castle, and this is all happening with technically a first-year head coach.
Well, it's absolutely what you're doing, and so to me it is absolutely a fun story. And when I look at a team, he mentioned Boston. Okay, they're overachieving, but I'm not going to say it's a fun story. Why is that a fun story and the Spurs are not? East Coast bias. I completely disagree with what he said there, and would have no problem telling him that to his face.
It sounded like Freddie Coleman wanted to.
Well, it's ridiculous, and it's been that way for as long as I've been covering the Spurs. They never get the respect that they're due. And again, an ESPN guy, they're not a fun. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. No, they're not, pal. When do you watch them? Once? Twice, maybe?
Well, when Tim Duncan was playing with Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili, and Greg Popovich was still the coach, because that is what they were supposed to be doing then. And I get that. This team, I completely disagree with Jonathan Zaslow as well. Now, speaking of the Spurs, it didn't take them long to fill that roster spot opened up by Jeremy Sohan getting released last week, now with the New York Knicks. Mason Plumlee is signing a 10-day contract, or has signed a 10-day contract. Of according to Shams, and the Express News has confirmed it through his agent. I'm going to guess first 10-day contract, center, little depth there needed.
Sure.
He'll get a second-day contract. I don't know if he's going to be the veteran guy that fills the bill for the rest of the way, but it is a need. I was kind of hoping that roster spot would go to, I don't know, three-point shooter. And until we get one, I'm going to want a three-point shooter for this San Antonio Spurs team.
Mason Plumlee's a serviceable guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he is. He can come in. He can help you out in ways that, well, you need it. I mean, you're talking about a lot of things like rebounding, like being more of a banger. To me, which is kind of a need. So I don't have a problem with Mason Plumlee, and I think it was a good thing, without a doubt. Hey, Dallas Cowboys doing a lot of things, and in fact, still a lot of talk about George Pickens,
of course,
Minix, and how the Cowboys are going to manage to pull that off, franchise tag or signing him into a long-term deal. We're talking about it when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, you need your logo on any kind of gear, get over and see Sam over at Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro. It's one of those days where you're back in golf shirts. You need your logo on a nice golf shirt, fishing shirt, dress shirt. Sam will get you taken care of. He has all the big-name brands, North Face, Eddie Bauer, Nike, Travis Mathew, Port Authority, to name a few. Even now carries a full line of Tommy Bahama. Great pricing on the Tommy Bahama, and that price does include your logo. Has over 700 uniform lines to choose from, all kinds of industries, construction, restaurant, medical, you name it, Sam will get you taken care of. And if you need caps done, man, Sam has over 25,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations on display in his showroom. And he's got all the popular cap brands, the Richardson 112 style trucker caps, Katie caps, Nike Cap America, to name a few. Nobody has better prices. Sam is the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. Call Sammy's Embroidery and Printing, 210-824-3900, or get into that massive showroom down on San Pedro, 1 mile inside Loop 410, right there across from McDonald's, or check the website, samsembroidery.com, for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Thursday on the Morning Huddle, we are live from the MGM, getting you ready for Mario Barrios and Ryan Garcia.
NBA kicks it up again. Spurs are taking on Phoenix. We'll talk about what they got to do to close out this season and so much more. It's going to be a party, Vegas style. Get here early. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's San Antonio's newest sports watching destination, Novo Brazil Brewing Company. Craft beers, kombucha on tap, a handcrafted food menu, 8 massive LED screens conveniently attached to North Star Mall, open late. Novo Brazil Brewing Company. Go to novobrew.com.
The hard water coming in and out of your home is like a rodeo. There's a lot happening, and a lot can go wrong. Like having a tea party during a bull riding event.
Excuse me, would you please pass the sugar?
Now that's hard. At the same time, those that know have a Connecticut quality water softener and enjoy smooth, soft, pure, clean water. It just makes everything better.
That's a nice bull. You want some cake?
If you don't have a Connecticut water softener in your home, you're basically inviting destructive hard water to beat up your appliances, your hot water heater, and every pipe in your home. And your coffee maker, hard water damages it too.
For limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink, $400 off with trade-in, and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Call Connecticut of San Antonio and the Hill Country.
Don't live in a hard water rodeo.
Ooh, he looks mad.
Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
License number 38961.
Get in gear at North Park Chevrolet in Castroville, your 5-time dealer of the year. $13,000 off MSRP on new 2026 Silverado 1500s. 5.9% financing on new heavy duties for 84 months. Save $10,000 off MSRP on the 2026 Tahoe Premier. Ready to go electric? Get the 2026 Equinox EV with $13,000 off MSRP. Together, let's drive. North Park Chevrolet, 10 minutes by Loop 410 in Castroville. Must qualify. Call 830-355-2107 for full price and offer details.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cash back app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. Top users make between $200 to $300 per month.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GOOD25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code GOOD25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code GOOD25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is back. Round up your foursome, your work crew, your weekend golf buddies, even the ladies, and get ready for a fun, laid-back day at the Golf Club of Texas. Monday, March 30th. Lock in a team for just $500 for a foursome, or jump in solo for $150 per player and spend the day talking trash, crushing drives, and laughing your way around the course. This isn't a stuffy golf club tournament. It's golf the way it should be. The Spring Golf Classic benefits feeding animals at no-kills shelters across Texas, so you're having a great time for a great cause. Presented by Flight by Yingling and sponsored by Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chunk Club, PPL Motorhomes, and Ancira.com. And when the last putt drops, the day is just getting started. Join us for the after party at the 90 Proof Bar at Lucky Ranch Road and Highway 90. Cold drinks, great food, and all the post-round storytelling you can handle. So pick your team, claim your spot, and tee up with San Antonio's Sports Star. Sign up your foursome now at sasportstar.com.
You know, Jason, it never ceases to amaze me, the Cowboys' attention nationwide. Even in the offseason, no matter what's going on, all the national folks have got to talk little Dallas Cowboys. And the topic du jour today is one George Pickens. I'm Joe Reinagle. He's Jason Minix. This is The Blitz, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
And it's going to be the topic. You think next week when they're in Indianapolis, it's going to be the topic. When Jerry Jones has his meeting with the media on his bus there in Indy, they talk for about an hour. I don't know, 40 minutes are going to be on George Pickens. At least that's the over-under right now. And it feels like Jerry is doing a lot of things differently. And I think, you know, we heard this earlier, and we'll hear it again coming up when we play some of the press conference that Christian Parker had earlier today as he was introduced to the media for the first time as the Cowboys' new defensive coordinator. It feels different. But this George Pickens deal, it seems easy enough. You're going to tag him so he can't become a free agent, right? And then you've got to work out the long-term deal or not. But the only negative would be if George Pickens doesn't want to be on a tag and doesn't show up for stuff in the offseason and holds out for training camp, right? But it seems like it wouldn't be hard to get a deal done with George Pickens. Then I hear former GM, now ESPN dude, Mike Tannenbaum saying, you know, this actually is going to be a tough deal to get done.
Ideally, you would like to do that, but this is a much harder deal to get done than what we saw with Micah Parsons a year ago, where you just say, hey, Micah Parsons, you're the best pass rusher in the league, and you go to the top of it. This situation is much more complex because I'm sure Dallas is going to say, hey, look at Cincinnati. T. Higgins, $28.7 million. We're going to make you the highest paid number 2 receiver. And he's going to say, hey, guess what? 93 catches, 1,400 yards, 9 touchdowns. I want to be paid $40 million a year like Jamar Chase. So this one just seems like this is going to be the franchise tag. We know how Dallas comports himself. They're going to wait till the last minute. This is a tough deal to get done.
Yeah, it's interesting, and we as fans all think it's going to be easy. But we've been talking about George Pickens thinking, what does he think he is? Does he think he's a number 1 guy? Does he think he's a Jamar Chase or in that league? Is it Justin Jefferson in that league? What is he thinking? What is his agent thinking? And I think we're only going to know that once negotiations start. But just to assume that George Pickens, I love Dallas, I love this, I'll take $10 million a year less. Come on, I'm a good guy. I don't think that's going to happen.
You know, we can all say that and be mad at him if he doesn't. but I've consistently said, even though sometimes I don't even like what I'm saying, when you're at the contract negotiating table as a player in your short lifespan as an NFL player, it's your one time to be greedy. It's your one time to be about you and not about team, especially on your first contract.
Right.
But honestly, until I heard Tannenbaum actually say that, I've never really thought of George Pickens as a $40 million a year wide receiver.
No.
Now, I'm also consistent with when you're next, you get paid. And that's the way the NFL typically works. You know, Jerry is going to try to go the T. Higgins route, try to keep him around 31, 32,
Sure,
33.
sure.
Spotrac projects him at 33. And so when you hear Tannenbaum, and I get it, and David Mulligetta is his agent, and Mulligetta's never left a nickel anywhere, right? But when you look at, I get him wanting that, but also the Spotrac projections, and we've seen it with people like Lindsey Rhodes at Sumer Sports or the people at Pro Football Focus. They use these models that are what they use in the NFL that kind of determine value, right? It's in a lot of ways, it's, you know, for you realtors out there, and I know I'm probably going to mess up the lingo, but, you know, when you're trying to figure out your comps and what you're going to price a house at, right? There's your going rate and your neighborhood matters. Well, you're a number 2 wide receiver. That neighborhood is going to matter. The question is, how eager is George Pickens to get a long-term deal done? Is he willing to hold out? Because, and I know we said the same thing a year ago with Micah Parsons and David Mulligetta. Mulligetta works for George Pickens.
Right.
So if Pickens wants to be in Dallas, he can direct his agent to get a deal done.
Sure.
And still get the best deal for him. But to think he's going to get $40 million, but I'm wondering who on the open market, if the Cowboys did that, would give him $40 million.
Well, here's the thing, and I go back to this whole, well, we got a 1A, 1B. You know, nobody ever said George Pickens was a number 2 wide receiver. Now, do you think George Pickens heard that too? And when George Pickens was the star of that Dallas offense, when CeeDee Lamb was hurt, don't you think George Pickens kind of put that in his back pocket and Mulligetta put that in his back pocket? I guarantee you, if you were to ask George Pickens and look him in the eye with a lie detector and say, do you think you are as good as CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase,
yes,
Justin, he's going to tell you yes.
Yes.
So why wouldn't he go
Are you
after
kidding?
the big money?
Jalen Tolbert will tell you that. Wide receivers are divas.
Why wouldn't you go after the big money if you have that opportunity?
I don't mind him asking. And quite frankly, if Jerry were to pay it, I would be surprised. But again, I'm looking for this new Jerry to do things differently.
Wait a minute. We're talking about money.
Yeah, kind of.
We're talking about money.
Right,
that
true.
might be a different thing.
In salary cap, and there's other things that they have to do. But can they somehow get to meeting in the middle? You know, the one thing that is different about this one, and I forget which reporter that covers the Cowboys pretty regularly said it, no guarantee that Jerry tries to go negotiate this directly with George Pickens like he has with a lot of the other players. And the reason for that is relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when he has drafted guys and he has gotten to know them and has that open door policy with a lot of those players, like a Dak or a Zach Martin or a Micah Parsons, to that matter, there's a comfortable feeling having those conversations. I don't know if the relationship between Jerry and George Pickens is there for him to do that, especially after things went so south with that same agent a year ago. So I don't necessarily know that we've got to wait for them to have their meeting. And I don't want to read too much into the fact that Jerry has said, no, they haven't talked yet, because he doesn't do it with every player. He does it with ones that he has the great relationships with that are making top 10 type money on the team.
Look, I agree with Tannenbaum. I think it's going to be harder than most Cowboy fans feel like it's going to be.
Will it be, or will Jerry just make it that way?
Well, I don't know. Will it be Jerry or will it be Pickens? Again, if you're
Depends on who you ask.
If you're a football player, you want to make the most money you possibly can. And so if Jerry's not going to pay you that, play on the franchise tag and take your chances and to go from there. Worked out pretty well for Dak Prescott. However, I don't know what kind of problems that's going to solve if Jerry comes into Mulligetta or Stephen Jones or Will McClay, whoever, and says, "Hey, we're going to give your guy Pickens a 5-year, $150 million deal." That's about $30 million a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to laugh, or is he going to say, "Okay, that's in the ballpark, and let's talk"?
Yeah, how much of that is guaranteed?
Well,
yeah, because I'm looking at, if I'm David Mulligetta, you play 2 years on the tag, 28 this year, 30-something next year. You know, you're looking at 61 guaranteed over the next 2 years if you play on the tag. So that's my start. So I'll take 150, but how much of that is guaranteed money, right? If I'm not taking 150 and 65 guaranteed.
What was CD? He was right at 100, I think, right?
Something along
about
those lines.
100 million guaranteed, roughly. So it's going to be interesting to see, and I'm not saying it's not going to get done. I'm not trying to throw a wet blanket on this thing, but I just think George Pickens is like every other wide receiver in the National Football League who thinks his worth is way the hell up here when a GM may think it's down here, and they got to meet somewhere in the middle.
I know that the defense needs a lot of help.
Yep.
And the way they can really fix that defense in a hurry is to spend money in free agency. The easiest way for Jerry to be able to know exactly what he can spend in free agency is to get a deal done with Pickens now, or say, "George, I love you, man. We'll talk next year because I've got your 28. It's pushed off to the side. You're going to get all that. And that's going on this year's cap. But now I know exactly what I have left to play with after I free up money over here and over here and over here on these restructures, because I'm not going to let your contract take away from what I've got earmarked to fix this defense." Maybe Jerry handles it that way.
He very well could, and I would applaud Jerry for doing that. Get it done one way or the other so you know what you can spend and try and fix that defense, because even signing a George Pickens is not going to solve that defensive problem.
No.
It's not.
No, because George Pickens was there last year, and he didn't help the defense at all. And look, the Cowboys introduced their new defensive coordinator, Christian Parker, earlier today, and he's going to have something to work with.
No, without a doubt, because right now he doesn't have anything to work with. What did Coach Parker have to say today? That's the key question. We're going to hear from him when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First, though, let me tell you about my good friends at Stevens Roofing. You know I love talking about these guys. Family-owned company, local company, and I say this every time, but I wanted to get through to you. They've been in business since 1983. Just think about that for just a minute and let that sink in, because, well, it should tell you everything you need to know about the reputation of Stevens Roofing. And now they've added solar to what they do. I know a lot of you out there have probably been thinking about, I wonder what solar panels would do in saving us some money on our electric bill, and what would that cost, and how. Well, Stevens Roofing and Solar is the company to call and ask. 210-785-0994. Tell them what you want to do, what you're thinking about, and they'll put a plan together, and you guys work together, and you know they'll get it done right. Look, if you think there's something wrong with your roof, get it inspected by Stevens Roofing. They'll send a crew out to your house. They'll check it for free, and they'll let you know if everything is okay or if there's some repairs that need to be made. Either way, you know you are dealing with the absolute best. Stevens Roofing and Solar, 210-785-0994, or you can visit them online at stevensroofing.net.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Thursday on the Morning Huddle, we are live from the MGM, getting you ready for Mario Barrios and Ryan Garcia.
NBA kicks it up again. Spurs are taking on Phoenix. We'll talk about what they got to do to close out this season and so much more. It's going to be a party, Vegas style. Get here early. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. For the past 32 years, I've represented San Antonians injured in auto accidents. I'm a second-generation attorney here in town. My father, Bob Thompson, has practiced law here in San Antonio for more than 50 years, and I learned how to practice law from him. I learned what it means to be asked to represent a client and the tremendous honor and obligation that comes with being someone's attorney. And here's what that means for you. If you call my office, I will be the one you speak to. I will be your attorney, not a staff member or a junior lawyer. 2, I have one rule in my office. If my client's happy, I'm happy. 3, relationships. A good one is built on communication, honesty, and time. I like talking to my clients. They're the only reason I go to work every day, and each is very special and very much appreciated. If you or a family member has been injured in an auto collision, please call me. My name's Jason Thompson. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 900-0400. Or you can go to my website, alawyerforus.com.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your nature-made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Move over, Chips. There's a new crunchier MVP in the snack aisle. Enter pork rinds. Southern recipe pork rinds are low-carb, gluten-free, and packed with protein to keep you going. And the flavors, big, bold, crunchy. From sweet barbecue to hot honey, every bite brings that flavor-packed crunch you crave. Grab your favorites today at H-E-B or online at porkrinds.com. Southern recipe pork rinds are your snack time, crunch time hero.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Winter is in full swing, and Aleve is here to keep you moving. When the cold weather sets in, everyday aches and pains can linger, but Aleve's got your back. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, Aleve keeps you going with long-lasting body pain relief to get you through whatever the season brings. Chilly days or cozy nights, Aleve gives you that long-lasting body pain relief you can count on this winter. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuits is welcoming new furry family members. 6,000 square feet of indoor play, 5 outdoor yards, and trained staff for your pup. Call 210-750-1298 today. Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuits.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is back. Monday, March 30th at the Golf Club of Texas. Get your slot now. $150 per person or $500 per foursome. The Spring Golf Classic, benefiting fitting animals at no-kill shelters across Texas, is presented by Flight by Yingling, sponsored in part by Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, PPL Motorhomes, and Encira.com. The Spring Golf Classic, Monday, March 30th. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
Back here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. So happy you've decided to take some time on your Wednesday afternoon. Spend it with us. I'm Joe Reinigle. He is Jason Minix, and big day for the Cowboys today.
It was, just trying to get there. They introduced at a press conference earlier today their new young defensive coordinator, Christian Parker. Now, early afternoon press conference, you get off work at 5-ish, and, you might have missed it. You want to hear what the new DC sounds like? Here's some of that press conference from earlier today. Well, here we go.
I got to buy lunch again? Could have brought some food, Tad.
All right, Calvin. Tad slipping. Calvin Watkins of the Dallas Morning News. I have a question for each of you. First for Brian. The process to hiring Christian was a little different from when you hired the previous coordinator. Why the change? Why it was so extensive this go around?
Well, I think obviously we wanted to get it right. We're excited about the process and how it worked out. I think, when you look at what we did last year on offense, we went through a very thorough process and came away with a bunch of guys that I really hadn't worked with, had been known about them for a while. But I think this was really just something where we were excited to say, hey, take a deep breath. Let's get it right. I think we did over 40 total interviews, 9 of which were coordinators. He was the last one, by the way. He was the last Zoom that we did. And every impression we had with CP was just left us wanting more. The conviction that he has, but curious, his calm demeanor. You guys will get to know him. Just the way he carries himself is awesome. But really the process was thorough. It was long. Jerry and Steven, I think, they hung with me, which is great. We did so many layers of this thing, man. I mean, we got into concepts and techniques at every level. To hear Jerry talk about playing 4-eye was really cool for me. You know, he's going back to Arkansas now. So, I mean, I don't think they called them 4 eyes back then. But when we got into the weeds, man, and just every time we spent time with CP, it became very clear that he was the guy for the job.
This is for Christian. Obviously, everyone wants to know, what kind of defense do you want to bring to the Cowboys?
Yeah, well, the first thing is we're going to be multiple. I think that whenever you form a defensive structure, it's about the players that you have. So core principles, I mean, will be a 3-4 by nature, but, 4-3 spacing will be appropriate, 4-2-5 in nickel, different front structures, coverages behind it. But I would say being multiple is probably the most important thing about it.
Clarence Hill, DLLS Cowboys. First, Shadi, talk about the trust that Jerry and those guys showed in you to lead the process.
Well, again, I think, Jerry and Steve and I, grew very close over the years. Just we had real conversations, as you know, Clarence, and spent a lot of time together. But we did this together, and it was awesome, and the process was awesome. And I'm not being funny when I say, to get, Jerry to be willing to sit in on 40-something interviews, was extremely – I was stoked. I was so excited that he wanted to dive deep into the weeds with us and go into the fundamentals and the techniques and all those things we talked about. And, we stayed in constant communication. And that's how you feel great about it. And like I said, like we told all the cans when they came in, for us, we felt like last year we were able to build a program on offense. And we wanted to build a program on defense where you're self-sustaining. You've got great coaches, and when we win, which we're going to win, and we're going to compete for Super Bowls, people come after your staffs. You look at what Seattle and some of those teams are dealing with right now, and you want to have the infrastructure and the people underneath to where, you promote from within more times than not. And so it was a great process, and they were in it along the way, along with a few other guys. And I believe in the process. I'm a process guy, and I think we hit a home run with this guy.
Brian Schottenheimer in the Cowboys press conference live here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
In their respective cities. But what stood out about CP that put him at the top of the list?
Again, the way he carries himself. He's wise beyond his years. I mean this. He's convicted. I did tell him that I was a coordinator at 32 years old. He's 34, so he's been slacking. I'm a little disappointed that, I had to beat him by 2 years. But, I say that in jest because, he's been preparing for this for the last 4 or 5 years. When you're designing defense, you're the pass game coordinator on defense, you're basically involved in calling third downs and giving those things. And I say it because it's real. He was the last Zoom that we did. And as he started talking, it wasn't just him talking about his watches and his shoe game. He got a serious shoe game. Yeah, he got a shoe room. You guys can write about that. He's got a shoe room. Man, every time we talk, we just would get off a call or get off the Zoom and get off the interview, just be like, damn, I want more of that. And I think his ability to develop players is very obvious. You look at what he did in Denver, involved with Surtain, and you look at what they did in Philadelphia, obviously with Cooper DeJean and Mitchell and guys like that. He's done it. And, ton of respect for Vic Fangio. He's cut his, teeth under Vic, but he's not Vic. He's got his own convictions and beliefs, and that's what I love about the guy.
Very quickly, congratulations.
Thank you.
What stood about the Cowboys for you, and why did you want this job?
I think when we initially started the process, you could tell there was an aligned vision for what they wanted in the position. where we wanted to go forward. Obviously, a great deal of respect for not only the organization, but the players involved on the team, having been in division for the past 2 years and having different times going against them. Significant offensive firepower, stayed up a lot of late nights trying to prepare for. So it always helps when you have a franchise quarterback and offensive skill players on that side of the ball that can control the game for you. But I think the biggest thing was just the alignment. You could feel from everybody in the building during those interactions that there was a shared vision involved and people wanted to move forward in the right direction.
Christian, Todd Archer with ESPN. How ready are you for this?
I'm ready.
Where does the confidence come from that you know you're ready to handle?
I think confidence comes from preparation, and I think that I've been able to learn from the right people. So I think that when you've been involved with different people along my journey that I've learned under as head coaches and defensive coordinators, number one, and then the diversity of scheme that I've been involved with, and then you kind of become accustomed to what you're comfortable with in your own ideas. You like certain things, you don't like certain things, what will work, what won't work. I think as you kind of get involved with different people, you kind of form your own identity. So when you have that opportunity, you know what you want to do. And I've kind of gone through that process internally for a great deal of my career. So I've prepared as much as I possibly can at this moment.
And obviously it wasn't a good year for the Cowboys defensively last year and what they did, but your thoughts on what is in-house here and how you can improve the guys that are already here as opposed to waiting for what happens in the draft?
Yeah, I mean, the game is definitely won and lost up front. We have significant players in the front seven. And so I think that when you start with that defensive line room and what you're able to do in controlling the pocket, stopping the run, you control what an offense is able to do, and you're able to dictate to them on their terms. So you're not playing the whole playbook when you win first and second down. So I think it starts there. That's where the excitement starts. And there's several other pieces that have been proven playmakers. We look forward to kind of bringing it all together in the next couple months.
New Cowboys defensive coordinator Christian Parker getting introduced. You're listening to the press conference on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I think you have to know the student first and foremost. You have to know who you're talking to. What might hit one player's brain is going to hit different than another. So being thorough and being detailed, being very clear and concise in terms of your messaging and when to correct, when not to correct. Sometimes players got to touch the stove. You just want to do it in a controlled environment. But just how to do that, the diversity of teaching, whether it's on the field, in the meeting room, Kahoot quizzes, physical quizzes, showing them video examples, having them teach in front of a room. There's so many different ways that you can kind of get in the weeds of teaching, scheme, technique, situational awareness, and really you just want to expose players to as many different examples because it's going to hit everybody differently in terms of how they're able to learn that.
And I don't know, it might be for both of you, but as you were filling out the defensive staff, how important was that when you were interviewing candidates, the teaching aspect of it?
Well, I'll take it first. I think, I was impressed with Christian, obviously, through the whole process, but impressed me even more was when I saw him interacting through this process of going through the interviews for the position jobs, right? Like, there was an alignment he and I had talked about before we offered them the job about, okay, well, let's talk about some things because obviously there's a very competitive field when you're trying to build a staff and there's good coaches out there. There's good coaches in different realms, but seeing him through the interview process, John, got me really excited about him as a leader, him being, very comfortable having the hard conversations. That's what I am. I'm a person who loves to have hard conversations. And again, the reason we wanted to talk before we decided to do this partnership was to make sure we could have those hard conversations. And so I think that's something from the very beginning that I felt great about. Anything with staff?
No, I think that we, extensive search, very thorough, trying to just balance it. I think, compatibility is very important. And obviously the teaching element is significant, right? But you want to have the right collection of people by position, whether it's, what schemes they've been in previously, what they've done, their area of focus and expertise when it comes to game planning and all that kind of stuff with player development. And, we definitely feel like we have the right mix.
Is the interview process the first time you guys have ever met?
No, we met when we had joint practice when I was in Denver in 2022. There was like a little coaches mixer at Ocean Prime out there in the Denver Tech area. We met real quick.
See how smart he is? I wouldn't remember that.
Yeah, we met real quick. But that was a, just quick handshake introduction. There was a bunch of other people around during that time, but actually having, conversation and talking football and everything else, this process was the first time.
And you guys know this with me, like this is a name that I've had in my notebook for the last couple of years. You know, people just kept talking about this guy from Denver and Green Bay originally, but Denver and then in Philadelphia, you know, and so he was a name that I'd been, you know, hearing a lot about for a long time, no different than Clayton Adams, you know, in terms of, hey, if you ever get a shot, you know, these would be names that you would be intelligent and smart to talk to.
Hey, Christian, Nick Harris, Forward Star Telegram, congratulations. Obviously, your experience is pretty deep. Brian mentioned Vic Fangio, but also Vance Joseph, even Mike Elko. How do you see those guys playing into you building this scheme and call sheet for the first time in your career? And then where do you see your little nuances coming into play as well?
Yeah, a lot of them have a lot of similarities but differences. I think foundationally, you know, Vic, Vance, Mike Pettin, Coach Elko, Gerald Evero all came out of a 3-4 structure. I think that once you get past that, from the fronts you build and the coverages you do and the personality on third down, red zone, you definitely have a mentality as a play caller, but I think that it's still going to be designed around the players that you have. So there's different nuances that I've taken from each one of them. And even people outside of that, as I've had extensive studies and you build relationships outside of the circle you've been in that you know you want to incorporate with what you want to do.
And then are you more of a guy that falls under the line of thinking of building a scheme around the players or acquiring players to fit the scheme?
I think you build it around the players. You know, of course, you want to have your core principles and foundational beliefs, you know, but as you kind of move forward in the process, what do your guys do well? How can you put good players in highlighted positions? How can you create one-on-ones for certain guys? How you can protect certain guys? You know, if we can win on blitzes on a running back, then we're going to blitz a lot. You know, if we got good man-to-man corners, we're going to play man. You know, if we have guys that are better with zone vision, we're going to play more zone. So, you know, you want to build a package that has diversity and scheme, and then you want to, you know, tailor it to the players that you have. And, of course, there are schematic fits, you know, but I think the really good players are the ones that you can't peg them in a certain scheme, and that's the only way they can play football. You want to have guys that no matter what scheme they're in, they can be significant contributors, and then you want to just highlight it around their strengths.
You mentioned those core beliefs, philosophies. What are those for you, one or two?
Yeah, I think, you know, definitely want to, you know, stop the run and affecting the quarterback. I think are the two most important things you can do. You affect the quarterback by stopping the run. Sometimes affecting the quarterback comes through pressure. Sometimes it comes through disguise. Sometimes it comes through just the talent that you're able to have and the ability to play, the play style. But I think those two things are where it starts. Because if you can stop the run, you can get teams in predictable downs on second, you know, get back on track, and then third and longs, then you have more schematic versatility. If we're playing a whole bunch of 3rd and 2s and 3rd and 3s, usually those aren't the defenses that are successful. But if you can win first down and you're strong in the fundamentals, we're getting off blocks, we're tackling, we're attacking the football, we're situationally aware, those are the ones that are successful.
94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star, the introductory press conference for new Cowboys defensive coordinator Christian Parker.
Look at some of the guys that you've got now here in Dallas, like a Savon Rebel or a Deron Bland. What do you see their next steps being under your vision?
Yeah, I mean, they have different strengths. Definitely evaluated Rebel last year in the draft process. Had one of his teammates at Denver, Jaquan McMillan from ECU, so kind of had a little bit of intel there. But, you know, his ability to erase receivers in press coverage, he's very aggressive in run support, and he has the long speed and athletic traits that you want at the position. Obviously, coming off the injury, you know, getting him healthy is a significant part of that, and him having the confidence to do so. And then Bland, just, you know, he's instinctive and he takes the ball away at a high rate. You saw that from Sac State to Fresno to now here. So very excited to work with those guys.
Now that you're the coordinator, not as much time to spend with the defensive backs, how do you plan to manage your time so that you can still, you know, keep developing defensive backs like you have in the past and also manage all the units on your defense?
Yeah, well, I think it starts with the coaches that we hired. You know, have a lot of confidence in Derek Ansley, Ryan Smith, and Rob Muschamp in the secondary to drive the bus when it comes to that and the development. Obviously, my eyes are naturally going to start there when it comes to it, and I'm going to have to, like, fight the magnetic force during individual periods that's going to draw me to the DBs and go somewhere else. But have a lot of confidence in those guys to teach and develop those players, and we're excited about that.
Jane Slater, NFL Network. Coach, do you think last year your team had a defensive identity? And if it didn't, what did you want it to be at the end of the season?
Yeah, again, I think, you know, talking to the players, I think they did feel that way a little bit. And I think, you know, there was a change that was made, you know, and the change was made when we got Quinnen, and all of a sudden the 5 down becomes real, and so you start making those adjustments. The biggest thing I would say, Jane, though, was it was more about the identity moving forward. And that's why the process was so long. That's why it was so many Zooms and so many interviews, and you get the coordinator, you're not done. Because, again, Christian's a great coach, but, again, you got to have the position rooms, managed the same way. What's been awesome for me, Jane, has been the excitement of our players. Our players are around a little bit, whether they're just hanging around, but they're coming to see him and be around. You see the excitement for Christian and the other staff and the connection that's already started. And so for me, that gets me excited because, again, that's what you want. You want these guys to be excited about not only what Christian, but Marcus Dixon, Scott Simons are all going to bring to this defense. And there will be an identity and there will be a philosophy. And I think that we've done the first part, but there's still a lot of work left.
My next one's for Christian. One thing we got to know with Shotty last year was his why. What was your why when you got into coaching?
I think that I had a lot of coaches over the course of my life that really helped develop me outside of my parents. The discipline, the confidence factor, the team element of it. I think, I'm the oldest of 3 boys, so, being a big brother, there's an element of that in the coaching side too, in terms of the relationships that you build and how you try to help them learn from their own mistakes, but also not letting them fall under the same things that you might have encountered. And I think just passion for the game. I love football. I love everything it brings, game day practice, the late nights watching film, all that stuff. And then you kind of find this happy medium, and it never feels like work.
Skyler Dixon with the AP. Christian, welcome. Cooper DeJean had some high praise for you on social media when the news broke. And Shotty mentioned the development of him and Quinion Mitchell. I just wondered, from your point of view, how much do you think the development of those 2 guys and maybe some others sort of led to this opportunity?
I think, great players make great coaches. So, when you're around talented individuals that love the game like you do and they're willing to put in that work, there's definitely a happy marriage there when it comes to player development. They challenge you as a coach. There's been plenty of players that you learn from them, whether it's how you taught them or things they might have done at a different stop or how they see the game between the lines. So I think it's definitely some give and take there when it comes to that. But I was definitely blessed to have coached some of the guys in my past.
Did you watch the NFC East Hard Knocks at all?
No.
Okay. I'm just curious if you would see kind of inside this building. I know you don't get to see deep inside of the building and that, but
No, I avoided. I didn't want to watch that stuff. No.
Ask him about The Gambler. Does he watch The Gambler?
I did.
Yeah, he did watch The Gambler. Smart man.
Yeah, so I did.
Cliff notes.
That was kind of my, I kind of I was snowed in Philly and, accepted the job. I was there, couldn't get really out. And we were just, doing Zoom interviews all day and stuff. And I started watching a couple of those episodes to try to educate myself a little bit. So, yeah, that was good.
Smart man. Christian Parker, new defense coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys, his introductory press conference. I'm surprised nobody asked, where's Jerry? The fact that it's Brian Schottenheimer and Christian Parker. No Jerry, no Steven. Again, a different offseason for the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, yeah, different offseason, but I think you said this before going in, so it wouldn't turn into a George Pickens press conference. And what are you going to do about him? I think this was all about Coach Parker and how he's going to coach the Cowboys. And I tell you what, I there's a lot of things that he said that I like. You got to put them into place and make sure they work, but building around the players that you have, and he's a confident guy. He said he's ready.
Ready, no hesitation. I don't want to say soft-spoken, but direct and confident. I like what I heard. It almost sounds like the Schottenheimer introductory press conference. He won the press conference, or at least I'm looking at that. What about you?
Well, I tell you what, at least he talks a good game, and so I like the youth, I like the energy, I like all of that, and so we'll see how it plays out once they hit the field.
It's almost like Brian Schottenheimer's introductory press conference. There were a lot of questions. For Schottenheimer, it was, dude, it's taken you forever to get a head coaching job. Are you just going to be a yes man? He's young. He's not done this before. So there's a lot of questions just because we haven't seen him do it before, but there's excitement on what he can do, and just the way Schottenheimer has put this staff together gives you some hope in February 18th.
There's always hope in February, isn't there, Minix?
Always hope.
Always.
Yeah, kind of like later tonight on the blackjack tables when we get to Las Vegas.
Always hope on the blackjack table, too. We are headed to Las Vegas. We will be there doing the show live tomorrow and Friday, getting you ready for a big boxing match with the local guy, Mario Barrios. And looking forward, and hopefully he will do well and get that thing done. But looking forward to it. Let's head out. You ready?
I'm ready to go. Pledge, you got a show tonight? Have fun.
All right, Pledge. See ya. Good night, everybody.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is KTFM Floresville and streaming online at sasportstar.com.